Hey everybody, this is Tactical Reserves. I'm Brinks.
I'm Zach.
I'm Troy.
I'm Chad.
And this week we're talking about Necrons! I'm super excited.
Woo, Necrons, yeah.
Man, no spiky bits.
Zach is so stoked to talk about the Nightbringer.
Oh. And all that -4 AP.
Let's see here. Chad, you got the doc open. We're go ahead and hit us with what we're starting with.
This week in hobbying, of course. You can go first.
Oh yeah, I hobbied my ass off. I picked up 2 Canoptic Doomstalkers. I picked up the Silent King. Been playing Destiny this week. I picked up the Silent King. I stayed up till 2 a.m. building the Silent King last night. Well, building it to a point to where I can paint it on stream today. I painted 3 Canoptic Wraiths. I painted a Triarch Stalker. The hype is real. I'm fucking stoked.
You hobbied hard.
I did. My hobby was on 11 this week. So today on the docket for me is the Deus, the Minners things for the Silent King. And I think I'm going to work on the Nightbringer a little bit as well, because it's mostly, I'm going to work on dark shades for the cloak. I'm going to work in some blues. Today I'm going to try to do black, so I'm going to focus on dark blues and see if I can use blues and grays to highlight black.
Zach has a color you can use for it. It's called fire and into the dumpster.
Is that a color?
Yep.
Yep.
I got this new paintbrush. It's an airbrush. It shoots fire.
Zach, what'd you hobby?
I didn't hobby a damn thing.
No hobby?
Zach still
All
got the
baby time?
Baby time's hard to hobby time.
I think he was just reading the Nightbringer data sheet over and over.
Crying.
Imagining it would be different.
He's like, I could paint. Nope. Just insta-dead. Don't matter.
He's like, well, I guess it kills my custodes. Might as well throw them in the trash.
It was first week back at work.
Oh, so
between
now...
baby and work is
Oh, yeah. That adjustment. It'll take a little.
hobbying. Gonna sit on the back burner this week.
Troy?
I've been working on my keepers still. 3 big-ass models. It takes forever.
They're going to look
It does.
good when they're done, though.
Maybe. We'll see.
How about you, Chad?
I built a little bit. I had 3 models fall apart from the magnetized stuff, and like 8 magnets come off, so I had to redo half of them and then put together intercessors again and put Bobby G's sword back on for like a 4th time. It was
If he
bad.
wasn't such a basic bitch, he could hold a sword.
Listen. And then I'm picking up my ATV. I might get a second one if they have 2.
You should pick it up today before they're all sold out.
Yeah. They're probably all sold out.
It's only the most popular army in the history of 40K.
I mean,
Frontline Gaming quoted it, and they would know. They sell Warhammer, or GW sells more Space Marines than some entire game lines that they have. So
I'll probably pick up the ATV today and try to get it together.
Are you going to go for the Mario Kart theme?
100%.
I like the Mario Kart.
100%.
he's gonna go for that gray plastic thing
Oh,
until Anvil
that's
primes
true.
for him.
Whoa. Whoa, sir.
He's gonna be like, they're all stoned. They've been petrified.
So we'll see. Hopefully I get that together and then we can actually play Space Marines and Necrons this week.
Yes. I do want to say one more thing as far as hobbying goes. I am stoked to learn some stone effects. I've never done stone, and I'm going to be doing because my whole army is rusty, and I want to kind of keep that theme throughout. I'm going to try to make a bunch of the dais, and its pillars and stuff. I'm going to focus on making them stone instead of metal, and I'm going to trim out the edge work in a metal color and then rust it as like a conductor. So that's how the energy travels throughout it. It's kind of my mental.
You have a plan. We'll see if it
It'll be
works.
like a cool thing that might be pretty tricky to do, but is to do like stone and then put some paint on it so it looks like it's old and the paint's kind of worn off.
That would be cool.
But I don't
like
know how
that.
you would do it. So.
Oh, I've got chipping medium, like a spray
That
over
was
it
that
first.
was always my thought with my first Marines with the contrast paints, like prime them white or gray, and then just a light coat so it looks like they've been battle worn armor.
Yeah.
And it is really.
I love battle worn stuff. I will say one more thing. I messed around with GW Contrast, the aerosol primers this week, a lot more than I have previously, and I will say, like, I'm all on board with the $2 can of spray paint, but the way the paint lays out over that GW primer, if you're doing a nice model, it's definitely worth it. And I primed a Silent King, I primed a Nightbringer, I primed a Canoptic Doomstalker, and 3 Canoptic Wraiths, and I only used half a can.
Yeah.
So it may actually be worth the money to go with it, just because you get such a better start on this.
Zach shaking
I
his head
did,
no.
I did
for
3
the-
keepers and the bird and something else big. I forget. I still have half a can.
It's just so much money.
It's
It
a lot
is.
of money, but
that contrast
But
one
here's
is
the
nice.
thing: I will say, like, if you don't have an airbrush and you're brushing your models, anytime you use the $2 cans of paint, the paint won't stick. Like when you run your brush over it, it will separate from that paint because it's a solvent based, and you're trying to put
And
it
we all know GW paint's expensive, so
I don't know what he's talking about. I $2 can paint my shit all the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you do it in brown. You don't prime it. You just
You just
hit
it's
it.
done.
I'm just
Flashes
saying,
of camo, and there's
it-
the army.
it has given me food for thought because we paint so few models. Like I wouldn't do 100 guardsmen with GW primer, right?
No.
You also would take them off the sprue, unlike Zach, who's painting.
To be fair, you could probably get like all 100 in like one go.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. It was an experience I had this week that was surprising. I had already had the can, and I was like, you know what? I'm feeling fancy. So I was like, I'm gonna
Oh,
spray
boy.
paint these with some fancy paint. Pinky's out.
Very nice.
God.
All right, I'm done.
Are you sure?
We can move on.
Okay.
I'm excited this week.
Games played this week. Did anybody play besides me?
You know,
It's been a rough schedule.
I played the 500 point games, and they were very interesting. And Eldar put it to me because they can just get into your deployment zone really fast. And
Did you think Roscoe liked 500-point games because Eldar, or for any other reason than it made his armies better? than they
Eldar
were
is
in
really
2,000
good in
points
500
games?
point compared to 2,000 points.
Yeah.
That's for sure. It's an interesting format. I think the thing I liked about it the most is that I was trying, because it's really hard for Space Marines to get down. Bobby G's 380. I did build a list with him, but I didn't play it.
You could
But
just not play him.
it's just I could, but I didn't play him. But my whole thing is like I have like 5 different units total in 500 points, and he has just so many more. It's very army dependent to play 500. I think 1,000 I would like better. The table size was fine. There's only 3 missions. We only played 2 of them, but it was neat. I liked it because you can test models in it easier
Yeah.
that way. And he's right. The feel bads. Zach's right. Last week he was talking about the feel bads are not as bad when you
You know,
Can
what
play
my
multiple
500-point
games.
list would be?
the Silent King and some
Nope.
dudes.
Nope, it would be the Nightbringer,
Nightbringer.
the cheapest HQ, and the cheapest and some
Oh,
Immortals.
Yeah, you can't kill him in 2,000
Can't kill
point.
it. You
Yeah,
500
can't.
point game, you're not gonna put wounds on
The
him.
problem is you'll just lose to primaries.
Will you though? Will you?
He's just gonna
The
kill.
table's not
everything.
that big. They just
He's got two.
fly.
He's got 2 powers. He can do it ranged and then go kill something else.
The table is not that big. That is
Mine-
that is
as
for
long as
sure.
I'm not playing against you, mine will just be more trained. Just
Fly across the table. Yeah, it was interesting. I'm gonna try to play some more this week after shit kicking you, but we'll find out later.
Do you really want to say that again? How many times have you said that? And
We'll
then
have
come
a-
back to the stream salty next
We'll
week?
have a game of the week for next week. That's for sure.
prediction. Chad will be salty.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Chad hasn't read his codex. He doesn't even know the new strategies, so
It
he's
was
gonna get
sold
spanked.
out. Well, now I know some of them, but it'll be fine. I'll be ready. I'll be prepared for when we play.
And then he'll be mad because he didn't know what that model did, and that's why he lost.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You guys, I'm calling it now.
On to the Q&A, sir. Good questions this week. We were just talking about paint stuff. Michael H. from Warhammer 40K. Been trying to paint a yellow helmet for the last 4 hours now. And for the life of me, I can't get it right. Anyone got solid tips for thinning out your real... How do you...
You're real yellow.
Your real yellow
People that know it will know it.
out of a pot for airbrush use. I think that's about my only remaining option to get a smooth coat.
Well, as we have stated in other episodes, you should pretty much airbrush yellow always.
Yeah.
Because
And prime
brushing
white.
it and prime white. So you need to, if you don't have a white primer down, you need to strip your model, reprime it white. I'm not joking. Like,
Yeah. Yellow's tricky.
It's
Like,
Yellow-
just the helmet, though.
it's tricky.
well, then tape
This
it
poor
off.
guy said he's been working on it for 4
If
hours.
it's just, but if it's just a helmet, get some pliers, rip his head off, and get a different helmet.
Yeah.
Start over.
But seriously, white primer is your friend, honestly.
Trying to paint
If
it yellow.
you're going to do any bright colors, put white primer down.
Yeah.
Like, white, the only time you...
Yellow, orange, anything like that that's gonna.
Yeah, and if it's so if you don't have an airbrush, I mean,
What he's talking about.
He has an airbrush.
he
yeah.
does. Well, then yeah, you should definitely. I mean, what I do if it's like a really, because I'm guessing that yellow, I've probably got it over there.
He wants to know
It's
how you
chunky
thin
as
it
fuck.
out.
I don't think you would thin it
So-
out that much because you want to.
No, you have to because GW paint is so...
Oh yeah.
It does not pass through an airbrush. So what you do is Vallejo makes an airbrush thinner, and that's what I use on everything. And I usually use 2 parts airbrush thinner to 1 part GW paint, unless it's like a thinner feeling paint. But that is like that white the GW has. It is chunky.
Ugh.
It's so gross.
Also,
So that's
you might
what I
look-
would do.
Well, I don't know if you've done your whole model, maybe not, but you might look for a different yellow.
Yeah,
If that's the case, you might want like a layer yellow or something.
but
Just a board yellow.
I'm on Zach's.
If
You know.
You know, people get
yellow looks good though when
yellow
it's done.
does
You know
look
what,
when
if
you
you
get
want-
yellow
Doesn't
done.
look nice.
You know what? Just go buy a thing of Legos and get the guy with the yellow
No,
head. Boom.
Um,
Yellow helmet done.
but seriously,
commission a
but,
yellow helmet. It can't
Commission a
cost that much.
yellow. Yeah, $20. You know. Find some.
Just send me the head.
you can actually reduce it with water if you don't want to. If you're like me and you're not patient and you just want to paint your models, you can thin it with water. You have to be less liberal with your water use, but you should get on Amazon because your local game store's probably not going to have it. Get the Vallejo airbrush thinner. It keeps the paint from separating from your thinner much better, and it sprays amazing. I spray almost all of my models with regular GW pots. I have a whole
We're staring at it.
yeah, I have a whole airbrush line. That whole foam there is all airbrush paint. How often have you ever seen me mix anything out of
That's
there?
like
I use all GW pots.
for those of you that can't see because you don't have video yet. It's like 40 different paints.
It's definitely a fair amount.
I mean,
It's basically their whole main airbrush kit. So you can use GW any color with that Vallejo stuff, and it's like easy mode. So 2 to 1, that should be your mix. You're not gonna have a lot of coverage, but as with yellow, you've already spent 4 hours on the helmet. What's another hour of doing 2 or 3 coats?
fair enough.
Slowly.
I think that's what Michael was looking for. That's good. That's a good tip for sure. Rachel M from Warhammer 40K, a lady with a nice question. We haven't had
Don't
a
be a
lady.
creeper.
Yeah, Jesus,
We
yeah.
haven't had any lady. I've never met a lady Warhammer player in our
They
local
exist.
area. I know they exist.
I bought some plague bearers from one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Anyway.
It's nice to hear ladies sending in questions to the show.
God, this dude.
Zach's like, I got things to do.
I've heard you
I'm a
guys
dad
say
now.
that if you like a model and you really want to play it, then screw it, go for it. That said, I'm considering starting an orc army. Any advice?
The speed freak stuff.
Well, I mean, my advice is, well, yeah, play vehicle. Don't buy boys right now until
Boom,
they're
Doc
codex.
Snaz wagon.
Or-
There's a flip side to that because you can actually get boys pretty cheap
If
because
you
they're
can
all
get
over
them
the
cheap.
place.
The problem
Don't buy
is,
new boys from GW. Don't do
yeah.
that.
Now the big catch with used boys is you're like probably 80% chance that they're gonna look like dog shit and be badly kit bashed.
And they're gonna be on the wrong base.
Yes,
Those
and they're gonna be on the
old
wrong
boys
base.
are on the wrong base.
Orcs probably seem expensive.
They're very expensive.
Well,
My advice
most
is
of us
like
right now are a ton of vehicles. So
my advice is do what one of our friends Kayvon does. Just like pick a model and just go at it. And then if you don't want to buy that model, you don't like it, like Orcs will let you kit bash it. So like just completely immerse yourself in one model at a time, unless you're trying to get infantry, because that, in my opinion, is like the thing with Orcs. Like Orcs is like an army of, you know.
it does look
models.
like, unless you're going to a GW tournament, and even then, I think they'll allow some stuff.
Yeah.
But orcs look cooler when you actually put a lot of work
I
in.
Yeah,
agree.
I mean, Kayvon has that Gorkanaut Knight.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah,
doing a
It's
lot.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
That's
Kayvon's-
standing on a
he's been
plane
doing a
blade.
lot
Standing
of
on a
work.
bed like that thing is sweet.
It's crazy. But
Is that why he traded for the Baneblade from you?
yeah,
So
he chopped up a Bane blade to make it part of the base, and it looks amazing.
Incredible.
It does.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you picked a really fun army, but you picked a really expensive army.
yeah.
Well, it just depends. Like, if you don't want to go the 90 boys, which I don't think you should right now. Now, they don't have a codex yet, so...
Well,
things
mech
could
guns
change.
are $1 a point to buy, so they're expensive. I mean, their vehicles are also like $60 a kit.
Yeah.
Like, they're all expensive.
Orcs are sweet and they're sweet looking and they have the best names of Warhammer, as we've said multiple times.
Yeah.
But they're so expensive.
Yeah, kit bashing. Just don't be afraid to kit bash.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you like orcs, I think, go for it.
Go for it. For sure, go for it.
Don't be like, I need Marines, because Marines are the best.
Yeah, no. If
When the Orc Codex comes out, I mean, Orcs in 8th edition Index were competitive
Yeah.
all the way through, and they're still solid. Like,
no. Our advice is not going to change. You like it, screw it, go for it. Get
Definitely go for it.
it, build it.
And
If you're not building the big trucks, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. My advice
Now's
though
the
is
best
seriously pick one model at a time,
Yeah.
because the complexity of the paint schemes that you usually end up with on orcs, because it's all scrap metal stuff, it will make you feel very overwhelmed very fast. I bought like 4,000 or 5,000 points of orcs in 2 weeks, and I just like didn't know where to start.
What do I do? Like,
And now's the best time because the codex isn't out, so any model in their line could end up being amazing. So
Yeah,
go for
and
the
hordes
models you
are
like.
bad.
Yeah.
So
Go for the models you like because this is the best time. Because when the codex comes out,
they might be
Necron,
good.
if Necrons are any example, like pretty much every model in that unit in that book got better.
yeah.
So hopefully that'll be the case throughout 9th edition. So
We're hoping.
Yes.
But yeah.
so go for the models you like. Put them out.
Big trucks. The one with the big wheel on the front.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
That's the one.
You know, I had one of
Do
those,
that.
and I was so excited to play
Oh,
it.
not
Zach
this.
even convinced me to play it,
How'd that
and then
work?
that was the model he killed on the first turn.
Oh, new model syndrome?
Yeah,
Hard.
He was like, "That thing is sweet." I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna play it," even knowing it was bad. And he was just like, "Yuck!" Like
40 tank
There-
shots.
there's
again.
Shadow Sword it?
yes,
Yes. Because I was like, no, wait a second.
Oh, you should play this thing so I can smoke it on the first turn.
It's a transport full of things called tank busters.
It's true. It's true.
And you were playing tanks?
And I was specifically playing a thing.
Your logic is
That was
not
a tank.
wrong. I mean,
It's a big
just
tank.
saying.
Big.
So, am I going to let you drive your tank of busters over here into my tank?
He makes
No.
he makes a good point.
Yeah.
Just like Troy's Talos.
I didn't get a Death Rolla. I even put the Death Rolla on it because Zach was like, "That thing is sweet." I was like, "I'm gonna put it on there for you." That was just an
Troy
extra
played the
45
Talos
points
the first
wasted.
time, the little
He got you.
bumblebee things the first time. Zach
got you.
just blows them off the board. Didn't even get to go.
Zach is the destroyer of
Destroyer
models.
of new models for sure.
You didn't put tank busters in it
Against your tanks.
against my tank army. Maybe we wouldn't.
Oh, that's gold.
I put my guy with claws. All he had was crab claws.
Clamp.
He was just sitting on an objective.
He was coming right for me.
He literally went to the side to get the objective.
Oh man. Anyway, Graham S. Oh, I love this question. From Warhammer 40k. How many armies do you guys collect? I think to define a proper collection must be at least 1,000 points of each army. I have 4, which I feel falls somewhere between the normal people and guys, don't tell my wife.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I love the way you worded that, Graham. I have 1. Okay.
I
We
have
talked
2.
about this last week. I have 1.
Yep, I have 2.
I have 4, and I feel like I'm right about there at the
I have 3 and then a little bit of other Chaos armies, but 3 that I have more than 1,000 points.
How many have you had, though?
No, he has. I'm the guy that cycles
No,
through like tons. Yeah.
I might have another 1,000 points, 1,000 suns.
Zach has so many Warhammer models that I have a tote full of nids in my
You have a
house.
tote full
Sure.
of Zach's Warhammer models.
See,
He's
you don't have to
definitely-
worry about that army because it's not at your house.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I was thinking about when he asked the question, I was like, I only have 3. That guy's crazy. And then I was like, oh, wait, Aaron's got an entire army.
Yeah.
Aaron is one of my armies because, they had to get out of
Probably
my house.
about like 3,000,
Well, here's the
4,000
thing.
points of it too.
He put them in the attic, and he
Yeah.
was like, "I'm not getting them out." So I was like,
Hide
well,
it from Caleb.
"We need to test
He had
them."
to hide it from the... Yeah, we're at the don't tell his wife part,
So yeah,
I mean, Sunshine's got 6 armies
probably.
right now.
Probably.
It's a lot. I've seen the collection.
But his hobby's room in the basement, so he gets to hide it from everybody.
I would think 3 to 4 should be like,
Where you need to
We're
stop.
not going to judge you. If you want to
I
have
mean,
a ton of armies, I think we
if
don't
you're-
get enough game time in to have that many armies.
If you're doing 1,000 points, 4 is probably okay. The problem is like
Nobody
we all
You're
have
doing
like
5,000
yeah, we all have like 3,000
Yeah.
plus points in
Easily.
each army.
You got to have different options,
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Once you go into an army, you're like, well, I want to do all the things.
Yeah, I gotta have...
yeah,
Honestly.
my lowest point count is probably 2,500, and that's in Blood Angels because I've already sold that army once.
Yeah, because you had like 9,000 points in Blood
He was
Angels.
huge in Blood
I
Angels
have
for a while.
I have like 4,700 points worth of Ultramarines.
So, yeah.
I mean,
10,000 points of guard,
Yeah,
7,000 points in mids.
Yeah, but the guard,
I completely
the guard
forgot.
is skewed because Baneblades are like 2,000 points by themselves.
yeah, still.
Yeah, I had at one point when I was in Chaos, I had like 17,000 points in Chaos. And
Graham, I want you to write back in
But, like,
6
5,000
months and ask
cultists.
this question again.
Yeah, it was a lot of cultists. I had like 400 cultists.
Do you think 1,000 points to say, like, you're like, I have this army. Do you think 1,000 points is a good barometer to say, yeah, I actually have
Yeah,
that?
oh yeah, I
Oh,
agree
yeah,
with that.
for sure, yeah.
I would just say though, if you wanna measure your hobby addiction though, measure it in how many points
Yes.
of army you have, because I've still probably got close to 20k between my two armies.
No, just like total. No.
No, we can't do that.
Zach probably has 70,000 points, or no, he's probably got 40,000 points in models.
How many does Anvil
That's a good round
have?
number.
Anvil's not here. How many armies does he have?
3.
3, right?
Knights, Death Watch, Adbank.
Oh, he's also got guard.
And he has guard.
Almost
He's
2,000
got
points of guard.
Yeah, he's got guard.
So he's got 4.
So he's got 4 as well.
Yeah, and he's got some crazy awesome models too.
Yes.
Yeah.
His Knights army is big.
Yeah.
He's got like 5.
I mean, it's a centerpiece. One of them is a centerpiece on his dining room table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got more than 5.
Yeah, probably.
He's got 5
Regular.
Regular.
Yeah, he's got
What's
5
the
regular
big one?
guys,
What's the
and
big
then
guys?
does he have the Castellan and the Valiant?
Yes.
No,
he doesn't have the.
He doesn't have the
the-
spear one.
yeah.
He
Okay.
just
And
tried
then
it out.
he does have the
Perforon.
Acastus.
He has the huge
yeah,
one. Yeah.
The big one.
Yeah,
Big boy.
it's ridiculous.
And a couple of armigers. Like,
Yeah.
He's got a pretty sizable knight collection.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and we never get to see it.
Nope.
No.
Well, he's talking about how Knights.
He's not
he
going
doesn't
to bring it
think Knights
around
are very
to
good
Necrons.
Knights.
Spoiler.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Yeah.
Can you imagine
Nightbringer
a
into a knight?
Castellan
Oh,
just
God.
shooting at the Nightbringer and then it just coming up and like BAM!
You can't even shoot at it. There's no value there. It's like
I'll take
3d
take
damage.
3.
Oh, okay, you took 3.
Yeah. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Martin H. Question for all you guys. Ooh, I like this. What do you dislike about the hobby? For me, it's not finding anyone to play with currently. Well,
That's
global pandemic and all. Everyone hates
yeah,
that.
that's a tricky
That's a
part.
bummer of a problem to have.
It's expensive.
But I think all games are having that problem right now.
All hobbies are expensive though when you go the way we go.
I think it's actually cheaper than some of the other
It's
hobbies.
cheaper than Magic.
Yeah,
It's
definitely
definitely
cheaper than
cheaper than Magic, especially when I was at my peak. of
It's
Magic.
cheaper than
It's cheaper
Legacy
than
Modern.
trying. No, it's cheaper than trying to be competitive in Magic currently. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
competitive Magic in 2009 was different because I had like 8 of everything, and
Well,
the most expensive card was
The trick
$20.
to this game is unlike a lot of other games where, like, you really don't have to. Once you get the army, you've got the army.
You got it,
So you
yeah.
don't have to keep every 6 months or 2 months to win.
Rotate
Our problem
and
is
stuff
we
in
just
and out.
never stop picking up
Yeah,
models.
but that's part of the fun. Because we have a Magic budget that got switched over to Warhammer.
To Warhammer.
Exactly. I would say the thing I like the least about the hobby,
Similar.
transport.
Transport, yeah.
I
it's definitely-
hate transporting models.
Don't have a problem with it at all now.
Still sucks. You still got to get them out of the case and put them back in
I
the
haven't
case.
figured out a way
It's
to
not
transport.
nearly as much fun as Magic was. You just like,
No,
Throw it in a
here-
backpack.
You're done, yeah.
Well, it's like I was telling my wife last night. I was like, how the fuck am I going to transport
Yeah.
this Silent King?
But where do you think I'm at with my, like, 8 greater
last
demons?
case, like I would have had to do the Triumph of St. Catherine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how do you transport
I,
that?
I still haven't figured out the greater demons, man. It's just
Yeah.
it's something.
Well, foam is hard with the stuff that has a lot of spiky bits, and like
Yeah.
Well-
just staring at this thing right here. I mean, you'd have to cut a custom.
Think about how big of a
foam.
magnet it's going to take to keep that dude from tipping over.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it'll
Yeah.
probably take 2.
And it's like obviously I'm going to magnetize and I want to do magna racks, but the problem is how tall,
tall
it
is
is.
that?
Yeah. Most Magnamax, they don't expect you to
He's
do.
not
That's where I've
even
been at.
on it.
Well, no,
right
it doesn't get taller.
No,
That's
Oh,
the
okay.
peak
that
height.
tall point is probably the top.
Yeah, because this is the Silent King right here.
But nobody's come up with a Magnamax designed for big stuff like that
Yeah.
I've seen. You gotta do custom
What
ones.
you need is you need like a full rack and then a half shelf
Yeah.
that could cover half of that. That way your super tall stuff gets in there, and then you get an extra half shelf to go. Yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like with this cape flowing down.
That's
Oh,
still
yeah.
like 7 or 8 inches tall. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. Well, and the Tesseract vault,
Oh, it's even bigger than that. Yeah, it's a
it's
brick.
a basketball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So it's just
And the
Yeah,
monolith
transport-
is a giant brick.
I
But it's
guess-
pretty solid.
I guess I don't have a problem because my whole army is,
Yeah, you're just dudes.
it's just dudes. Like,
Yeah.
the biggest thing is like the drop
Transporting.
pod.
transporting is by far my least favorite thing about Warhammer. And if I guess I had a second runner up, it's all the different rules books.
Ugh.
That's
Yeah.
also frustrating.
Them releasing a rules book and then errating it like a week later.
Yeah.
That
Because I am one of those people. I do like to own hard copies of stuff.
If they get the app to where it's actually usable and everything,
Yeah.
that could solve a lot of that problem.
Yeah, and I will say that this book came with the code for the app in the back of it, which was really sweet.
A lot of people have been complaining that it doesn't work properly.
Yeah,
It doesn't yet, so.
But it's brand new.
But-
a lot, like even like everything like that.
Well, here's the thing about that though: if the app starts working perfectly and everything, what's the point to buy the book?
Because if you buy the book, you get the app for free, and if you buy the book in the app, it's almost as much as a hardcover. So why not get a hard copy and an app copy for a couple bucks more?
Because you're gonna have to take the books to the tournament.
It's the same thing that killed comics. That's all I'm saying.
Comics are still around.
That's true. If anything, comics are booming more currently than they were 15 years ago.
For sure.
I don't like painting. Painting is my least favorite thing.
Really? Least favorite?
It's up there with me. But,
I do also. I don't think it's my least favorite thing, but I don't like that you can only get 1 or 2 games in.
That's why I think smaller games is a good solution for us.
But I don't know if that tests right.
I don't think 500 points is right, but I think 1,000 is viable.
And Brinks didn't say it. He hates assembling stuff.
I do.
With a passion.
Dude.
Hates
Oh
it.
my
I
god.
actually like the assembling. Painting's trickier, but I wouldn't put it as my.
Hey, do you notice I didn't go full heathen on that though?
Yeah,
There's no big glue
nothing's
blobs
broken,
anywhere.
no glue everywhere. I mean, the day is still young, but
Like
I don't get how you.
I just don't enjoy painting.
I agree. I don't enjoy painting unless I'm in another room with somebody else painting.
Like every once in a while, I'll get an itch to do the painting, and then I have to paint like 1,000 points because I know I was going to wait 6 months before I paint anything again. Because I just go real hard when I do paint.
And then
I
like,
get
all
it
right,
done.
I'm done for 6 months.
But when you get done with the painting, that feeling when it is done or you've got a good piece done and you look at it and you're like, I did this. I don't know. I like that feeling. I like that reward.
Yeah.
I
And
would
you were
like-
killing it on your Russes, dude. You
Yeah.
really got dialed
Your
in
stuff
on.
looks great.
Yeah, I feel like I found my niche. Is just now I have 2 mana cores paint. I'm like, I'd rather
Play a game than paint,
just not do that.
Yeah.
Well,
And I'm
you
like-
also have a time limitation now.
Yeah. And I have like 5 Alaris Terminators to do, and then basing my entire Custodes army, and I'm done. Like, done.
Done.
And I just can't bring myself to do it. It's just like, meh. I'd rather just not.
That was a good question.
That was a good question.
Caleb C. Warhammer 40,000. Why didn't Thousand Suns Warp Flamers get upgraded to 12-inch range as well? The Codex isn't out.
Well, no, that's not true because
No.
they did update all
The chaos
Warp
stuff.
Flamer is either they don't like them, they suck, or they're gonna do something different with them when they come out.
Yeah.
Give
Well,
them
I
a
thought
little
it
more
was just
psychic.
because they don't have the standard name.
That's what I thought
Yeah,
too.
that's
It's
probably-
a Warp Flamer.
Well, there was a couple things that don't have the standard name that did get changed, though.
That's true. They did upgrade most Flamers, just
Yeah.
not Warp Flamers.
Right. I thought they didn't do it because it was specifically a different name.
That's what I thought
No,
too.
Gene Stealer Cult got a weird flamer name that got upgraded to 12 inches.
I don't know.
They
They
just
might have
wanted-
something different planned in the future.
It also has,
They
I think
could've
the Warp
overlooked it.
Flamers have extra AP on them, so,
I think
like,
so. But
without the extra testing, like, that's a very, very dangerous thing to
I'm on
allow.
the they just hate them train.
I mean, it's chaos. GW hates chaos. We all know.
Troy.
Well,
Just look at the
there's only a
cultists.
few things that can get Warp Flamers, right? It's just Thousand Suns. They might even overlooked them. We don't know.
That's
Could
very-
have been an accident.
I would say that Chaos is probably the second favorite to GW.
And behind Space Marines.
Obviously behind
Oh, it's definitely more favorite.
Eldar were definitely
No,
their
they-
poster child for about
Nah.
2 years.
No.
Rules.
Rules wise, they haven't got a
Rules-wise.
new model in a while.
Yeah.
Even their box with new models
Chaos
only
gets
has
a lot
one
of
new
new
model.
models.
The-
Eldar got
If
a
you-
box and had 2 new models in it. Marines got a box and had all new models in
It
it.
did have all new models.
yeah, I mean, we can't talk about Marines. Like,
Well, Necrons got a box and had all new models. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Eldar, I think that was just because they didn't know how
I'm
to.
just specifically calling out Chaos. Like he says GW hates Chaos, but
what
They
new
don't-
models did they got? Abaddon, right? They got their
Got
new.
the lo-
They got their new obliterators that you can only buy in the limited edition box set. They
the
got
new
Havocs.
models-
No,
Yeah.
they're in the Start Collecting too.
Or start, you have to buy a box to get
Within,
them.
within the last 5 years,
We got
because
new
you have to
Marine-
go look at GW because it takes them a long time to make anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Chaos has actually got.
Quite a bit.
We
Like
got
they
Lord
got
Discordant, we got Space Marines, or new Chaos Marines.
Maybe it
if you
just
go
got
back to
overlooked.
if you do the 3 to 5 year thing, you got an entire Death Guard army. You got Mortarion, you got Magnus.
I guess if we go into the
Yeah, all
to the
the
branched
Thousand Suns are new
armies, yeah.
Yeah, but just like Chaos, we got, like you said, Abaddon recast, Chaos Marines, Greater Possessed.
All right, so they like their models, but they hate their rules.
Yeah.
Is that better?
I don't want him
Lord
to be stronger.
Discordant's insane.
No.
No.
If he had 9 wounds, he'd be insane.
He's really good.
All right.
No.
All right. Oh, I love this question.
Whatever.
All All right, next question. Jim B from Warhammer 40,000. Oh, it's my favorite question of the week. The U.S. military and Elon Musk are planning a 7,500 mile per hour rocket that can deliver weapons anywhere in the world in 1 hour. The planned rocket will be able to carry 80 tons of cargo into space and land anywhere. My question is twofold here. Isn't this just a drop pod? Also, does Elon Musk play 40K, or is he a time traveler from the year 40,000?
Probably a time travel.
I'm totally on board with time
It's
travel.
kind of a drop pod, but it would be a better drop pod if we built like a giant airship and then dropped them out.
7,500 miles an hour?
Yeah, that's just a rocket. So more like a, I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought we were getting a math question. I was like, this dude don't listen to this podcast.
What do you think, time traveler?
Time traveler.
Totally time traveler. Him and the guy that made The Simpsons, both time travelers. No question.
I don't know why
I
that
feel
name-
like it's kind of bullshit though. Like building the drop pod first. Like build the dreadnought first, bro.
Zach's so angry now.
To be fair, the drop pod is much easier tech to put onto the human race than a dreadnought.
True.
A dreadnought requires a sacrificial lamb.
I don't think it's a drop pod until it's got people in it. Like, we're just dropping off supplies.
We're just dropping
Right.
stuff.
I mean, 80 tons, there's got to be some space in there.
No, but you can't put a dude in a rocket going that.
Going that fast.
I mean, Elon Musk might be able to ride in
I
it.
guess maybe.
That's a good point.
Musk is gonna pop out. He's gonna be the dreadnought. He'll be the first dreadnought.
Surprise dreadnought,
Surprise.
motherfucker.
Gabriella A. Warhammer 40,000. Anyone else upset about the new captain rules and not being able to reroll your own abilities rerolls?
No, that's the way it should be. You
Yeah,
shouldn't.
I agree.
You're
She
already.
she says I have to change half my army now, it feels.
Here's the way it is. Your captain's skills are already stated on there. Why would his, like, it should say he inherently can reroll once, not have an aura that lets everyone else reroll once, but includes himself. Like, can you, like, how well to hype
I'm on her
yourself up
side.
in something
It's really hard to inspire leadership in yourself.
in yourself? Yeah.
It's like,
Tell that
yeah,
to
I'm.
Like,
Tell that to Michael Jordan.
like if I give you a American Ninja Warrior obstacle course, right? And you could like you have a certain limit to
Let's
what your
go,
abilities
yeah.
are. No
Yeah.
matter how excited you get,
Sure.
your physical capabilities are still that.
Very good point. I could get past the first stage with the wood.
You couldn't.
No.
That's what made me
No.
think of it. There's you
Nope.
couldn't.
I could definitely get past the
100%
wood.
you
We'll
couldn't.
go build it.
You mean the first little?
The sideboards. You
steps?
couldn't even do the
I could do the
sideboards.
sideboards for
I
sure.
don't-
Couldn't do it.
He'd be one of them hanging on the middle of like. Ah!
The first one to go dip his toe in the water, get out.
Whatever. I think it's trash,
I think that's the way it should.
especially with Bobby G.
I think that's the
I
way it
understand the argument for it. I liked having the ability just to have a murder bot. Like you're like, oh, this captain's gonna go murder shit because I play Blood Angels. That's what they did.
He's gonna come down for space
still
with his
hits
big
on
old
twos.
hammer.
Right. Like,
So like, you're not even taking that much away from captains.
I mean, it is significant,
I'm more-
especially when they carry thunder hammers.
I'm more upset about Bobby than
It is Thunderhammer. Yes, it does hurt Thunderhammers. But
I mean, that's just how. Like, I understand the frustration with it, but I do think it's better for the game overall.
yeah, I agree with that.
I don't disagree with that. I just don't like it.
And it just doesn't make sense.
Did we find out if they changed Bobby G? Like, does he say core now?
Oh, Chad, why don't you look in your codex?
Got him.
If you had been on the ball like me,
From
you'd
what
have
I
a
was
codex.
told, he wasn't in there.
Yeah, so if he's not in there, he still technically doesn't say core on him.
They probably errated it in the FAQ, which you could check.
No, they didn't. I looked at all the because they updated all the weapons. And
So
stuff.
Bobby G stays the same.
Right now, when the Ultramarines,
Until he
So-
changes, he is.
when the
gonna do
Ultramarine
it.
subcodex comes out, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna Nightbringer him every game from now on.
Wait,
So
so when they did all that, they didn't upgrade like everybody to like core's not
Core.
a thing.
No,
40K
all they did,
wide, right?
all they
No.
didn't, all they did in the
Just
FAQs is updated the weapons.
I just thought
and some of the relics that are copies of weapons. So-
thought they might finish redefining Space Marines core.
Yeah, like Bobby G is a weird one because he is a Space Marine, and if he's not in the Codex, I don't. But it's not in the FAQ. I did look.
Yeah.
Oli A. The Silent King looks insane. Is he going to be competitively playable in 9th edition?
We're gonna talk about it. Short version is I think so.
Competitively playable is an interesting one because he's an expensive model. So it just depends on what the meta looks like. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, 26 wounds at a 4-up invuln, and all of the effects he has is.
But a lot of times
relevant.
you don't see 450 point models in competitive tables.
I mean, that's
They
true.
don't usually have pages of rules.
Well, I agree. So we'll have to see.
I mean, I would say, just seeing like the Castellan and stuff like that, like there definitely have been times where.
Yeah, it happens.
I agree. Black Rock Master from Reddit. According to math,
Oh,
oh no, what is better, old Melta or new Melta on Eradicators?
That's an Anvil question. I ain't got an answer.
Nah,
for that.
new Melta.
I don't know. Right.
According to math, I mean, probably if you're at half range, I would think, because they're +4, it has to just be better.
One's
New
plus
one.
two, plus two. The heavy one's
When
plus
I-
four.
when
The
I-
heavy one's +4. Okay, well, at +2. So
did
at
some
+2,
research.
your
Is the
average
heavy
would
one always
be.
plus two?
The old way at 2d6 remove 1, the average was
I think that one might be better.
Yeah, but you can only take one.
They would both be
They
about
did-
4.5, wouldn't they?
the old way is 4.5, the new way is 5.5.
I think the new,
Because the new way is better.
it has higher
There you go.
upside, that's
Matt.
for sure.
Yeah.
I did some
Oh,
research
the
and
old
asked the
way.
question around, and people
get
said
max
the same
damage.
thing because I wanted to have an answer for
Don't
it.
get
max
max
12.
6.
Yeah, because your average damage would be 3.5 on your D6.
Correct.
Oh, if it was
And-
2d6, then yeah, hell yeah.
And then 2d6, your
Yeah.
average damage would be.
3.5
Shadow Sword.
3.5 plus 2 is more than
Yeah.
2d6.
Yeah, the new way is
equivalent.
definitely better.
Yeah, the new way's better.
Agreed.
We don't need Anvil.
Speaking of Anvil, he did send in an
Oh,
additional question.
Additional question.
Question for the pod. When's Chad going to get good?
Never.
Never. He won't even buy a Codex.
Screwed Anvil. You'll get yours next week. It's fine.
His Codex? I don't know. I don't think I'm not that
He'll definitely
He'll
have a
have one
Space Marines
before me.
Codex before
He's
Chad.
probably one of the ones that bought him.
Could be.
He's sitting at home with 5 Codexes, just like.
That's why he didn't want to do anything yesterday, because he didn't want me to come steal the codex. I'll get you. That's fine. All right, Leighton V via email. Our question of the week. Now that they are officially out, what are your thoughts on the new codexes, specifically Necrons?
Is that the last question?
That is the last question.
So it's the main topic.
Yes.
Correct. The question of the week, if you will.
Yes. Contrary to what some people are saying on the internet, the Necrons Codex is, in my opinion, extremely viable. It is not a, autopilot Space Marine Codex.
It's the worst codex released currently
Yes,
of
it
the
is
two.
the worst Codex.
of the
really.
two.
But I feel like some of the stuff isn't as obvious, but I definitely feel like there's just too many models that, like, just on paper do so much for their points that for it to not be viable. I mean, go ahead, Troy.
I was gonna say, I think compared to the 8th edition Space Marine and Necron codexes, these are a lot closer.
Agreed.
They're
Yeah.
more on par. Like, they definitely powered up the Necrons to be comparable to, or at least playing the same game as Space Marines.
Yeah, I would say Necrons are pretty much guaranteed going to be an A tier army. Like, say Space Marines are S tier. Chaos is still probably S tier right now. I would say AdMech was considered S tier for a while. I don't know if
That
it
would be
would still
fucking
be.
evil.
Yeah. But generally, I would say, and I'm conservatively saying A tier because I haven't tested enough, but I can tell you that the custom faction strategy or tactics of being able to get a pre-game 6-inch move is insane army wide. Like, your whole army just gets 6 inches of movement. So, like, your Nightbringer starts the first turn with 14 inches without an advance.
Which is ridiculous.
Since
he can't
your
die.
silent king starts the game with a 14-inch move, or your first turn is 14 inches. Like, they're gonna make up a lot of ground really fast. You still got Veil of Darkness shenanigans to teleport. Your warriors, the durability is crazy. Especially if you pair them with the Illuminor Caesaris guy to have a shot at getting them to T5 or increasing their ballistic skill. Either way, it's really good. And the Strength 5, it's still totally good. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Like, right now, I guess there's just so much to unpack.
There's a lot.
There's so much to unpack.
They
Obviously-
all look sweet, too.
So HQ wise, I think the obvious most efficient unit in the HQ choice, if you're crunched on points, which I personally am right now, because I'm trying to play not the sweatiest version of the list. So the Technomancer at 80 points that can revive D3, warriors every turn is crazy. The Illuminor, Caesaris, amazing. The name characters are all pretty good, but those two I'm super on board with. Warriors, definitely an amazing troop slot choice. In the elites, every single Satan is relevant now. They're just only being able to take 3 wounds a turn, or a phase, combined with having multiple psychic powers, special abilities in each one, make them all relevant. Now, 350 points is a lot, but I'm playing the Nightbringer because you guys have all heard it. We don't have to go in super in depth, but the profile.
Zach wants to go in depth.
Zach wants to go in depth.
Zach, you want to talk about the Nightbringer?
Go ahead.
Model's trash. It's got so many good rules. It's just like GW has done a really good job lately of making things big models like Gazgul
Yeah.
Gazgul.
Gazgul,
They
Thraka.
buffed all the
And-
exalted demons.
and the Exalted Demons that can take that thing where you can only take so many wounds a turn, like trying to make big models cool. And then now they're making the Nightbringer. He just ignores all that stuff. It's just I don't think it's good for the game. I don't think it's good that the Nightbringer is nigh unkillable if you're playing a single phase army.
And even if
And if you're playing melee as your single phase, you're really in trouble.
yeah,
It's a really hard model to deal with, and I don't see the downside. I don't see the play in it. It's just a powerful ass model.
Yeah, if you're a single phase army, it's going to take you 4 turns to kill it. And that thing going unfettered for 4 turns is insane.
It's a problem.
the problem is the things running around basically in 8th edition, like codex wise. If this is like the pace for all the other armies that they're going to do, they're going to buff everything. This dude came first, so he's just going to shut down
Everything
that's out there
else.
right now. Like outside of Space Marines, everyone's playing with nothing on the power level of that thing.
It's like if that dude walks into Mortarion and Mortarion dies like that.
Yeah,
I don't feel
Mortarion
like-
can't even kill him. Like even if I did like 100 mortal wounds,
Yeah, the
Doesn't
most
matter.
Bobby could do 6 to him if he shot him and then went at him. Like
no, yeah, that's not going to kill him.
no.
And then he would die.
And then he,
And then he
he
would
would
just
die.
get smoked because
yeah, and he has the living metal, so he heals
Yeah, the next
one
turn.
of those.
and
the
he was
next
worn
turn.
back.
Next turn
So
he'll be
that's
at
like
4.
the thing. Like if you do a single phase thing,
It's 4 turns.
yeah, it takes you 4 turns because it heals one. So,
You would have to
And he
psychic
started
him, shoot him, and melee him 3 wounds each phase to try and kill him.
right. But
But that's not likely.
Me and Amber went to lunch earlier this week and we were mathing it out. And it's like you take a squad of Death Company and you run into them to do your melee damage. Like you send in 300 to 500 points, or not, probably not 500 points, but 200 to 300 points worth of Death Company in
To get 3 wounds.
to do 3 wounds at best case scenario. And then he just
Kills them all.
kills the majority of that squad easily. And that's
And doesn't die, and still has 7 left. You know?
And that's what Death Company things that are made to die. Like, taking a 500 point squad of Alaris Custodians. He's going to kill half of them, minimum, because I don't get any kind of save.
What's
really.
guard do against that thing?
Well, nothing.
Shoot it.
Guard's actually got the best chance because they can shoot at it.
Yeah.
And you can play Psychers, and you can run Bulgrin into it. So theoretically, you could kill it.
But the tricky thing with Psychers is most of them aren't going to be able to target him because all you got to do is screen him a little bit.
Right.
So he's
But it's
definitely
like,
a powerful.
that's how you, like, shooting is your best option against the guy, but you can never kill him just by shooting. Like,
No.
it doesn't work.
And he's got good movement and he flies, so it's going to be super annoying because you can't. It's very hard to hide
And he's-
stuff from him.
And his melee weapon's got 2 profiles. So, like, if you screen him out with, like, a bunch of flak art or a bunch of junk,
and he
like
flies.
20 guardsmen,
Mhm.
and you actually make an effective screen, he's got 12 attacks or 13 attacks or whatever with the 1 weapon profile, and you get no saves versus it. And then
Because they're -4.
No, that's only
they're minus 3.
Oh.
It's -2, but still that's killing guardsmen.
I thought it was -3, but either way, like, even if you screen him out with guardsmen, he's just like, he chops them all down, and then the next turn, because you're like, oh, good, now I get to shoot it, because that's usually how it would work. Your screen stows him down, then you shoot him off the board. He takes 3 wounds, heals 1 on his turn, comes in and chops up your tank. Like, it's really bad.
How many points is this model?
350.
And you can't wrap him up because he flies.
Jesus
so even if you
Christ.
could get like 30 plague bearers around him, that
He
might
also has
survive a
2.
sneak
He
attack.
also has 2 psychic powers that can't be denied because they're not psychic powers.
Yeah, they're not psychic powers.
The model is really I'm just not seeing the downside of it. And it just
Did we,
breaks the
it's a
bunch of-
4-up, right?
Yep.
It has a 4-up normal save, 4-up invulnerable
He's going to
save.
take 3 wounds a turn.
So he's going to take it.
Sure,
Yeah, 'cause
but
he is-
only 3.
He is immune to the lookout server rule. You can always target him,
Yeah.
even though he only has 9 wounds.
Yes.
So.
It's-
But-
the problem is, he can heal a wound a turn, and
sometimes 2, apparently.
So if he's on the table, you just have to get 3 wounds on him.
No, I
that
think you
turn,
actually
or
have
do
to
you
try and just stay
ignore
away
him?
from him.
Yeah,
How do you ignore something that moves 14 inches and flies?
8.
he only
moves
moves
8.
I thought you
The
said
first
move-
turn, I get
Oh.
a 6-inch pregame move.
Okay.
But
Does he get
see,
that?
like on the first turn?
The
like,
whole, I don't know if it says Dynasty or not. I should check.
Now he's looking.
Yeah.
But
check
say it doesn't get the free move, just a normal. He puts it on the front of his line because there's 0 way to punish him.
Sure.
Yeah, you can't.
Doesn't matter. Put it wherever.
He puts
Yeah,
it
if
on-
you're not playing Psychers, there's no reason for him to not be at the very front of the line.
right, you put him on the front line. Oh, he didn't get to go first. You do 3 wounds to him.
Darn.
His turn.
He just
heals
flies. Heals
He
one and
heals the
flies
wound,
8 inches.
moves 8, and then advances him because he can't charge because I'm playing guard.
Sure.
So he gets all the way up into my face. I do another 3 wounds to him, and then
So-
he heals wounds, and then he kills all my shit.
So he's at 4, and then now he's at
And now
5,
he's made it all the way across the board.
and he's at 5 wounds still.
And said he can possibly heal him for 2 wounds a turn.
Whoa,
So-
hold on. You can heal him more.
Just an extra one from the.
So yeah, 2 instead of 1.
And that's saying I don't have anything in the middle of the board, which right now everybody's trying to take over the middle of the board.
Sure.
So he's not going to have to advance, most likely, unless you're really trying to stay out of his range, which you should be.
Should be, yeah.
I actually think another thing
And that's with him going second.
another thing is you can just put this dude on an objective and nobody's gonna be able to.
No one's coming in there.
You can't.
Yeah, but
like
it's
even if you
300
did,
350 points, you don't really want to just sit on
No,
the
I
objective.
agree.
But
but if you
Yeah.
need to,
I think you just ship the damn thing in there and let him.
Just put him on the front and just walk him forward.
he's more Mortarian than Mortarian is. He's just like
It's just I don't know.
If him and Mortarian
it's
fought,
not,
Mortarian would get his shit pushed in.
maybe it's not as bad as I'm thinking it is, but it just seems super unfun to play against. Like,
I agree.
I don't know what the counteract.
You can't.
The
Can you
trick
play
is-
more than you could play more than one if you had multiple.
One per detachment,
No.
and you can only play one
he's
of
a
each named character.
Yeah, he can.
Okay,
he can
so
only
he'd
play
get 1 period in your whole army.
Yes,
But he can play
okay.
a different Catan. That
Yeah.
the stratagem.
and there's a stratagem that also lets you just say something can't have invulnerable saves.
Sure, why not?
And they
oh
can't-
yeah, that too.
We
Yeah.
also forgot that, like, after I do manage to kill him because I
He
meleeed him,
explodes, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he explodes.
and he's in my lines because you can't stop him from getting there, he can just explode on a 4-up.
That was the vault.
That's the
vault
that's
exploded
the
on.
well, the Taken King or the Silent King
So you
does
can
that
blow,
too.
but you can pay a CP and blow him up for free.
How much damage is it?
I'm checking. I don't know what his. I think his is probably D3.
It's probably not as powerful as
Yeah.
the vault.
I thought it was the powerful one.
No,
that
the-
was the vault we were talking about.
and
The silent. Maybe I'm confusing it with the silent.
He does explode. All the Catan explode, I'm sure. Well, they rip a hole in reality or whatever.
let's see here.
The real secret of the Necrons Codex is 3 Tesseract vaults are back, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think Necron Warriors and Nightbringers are just like the thing.
Warrior bombs are ridiculous. Like,
You're just like, here's a bunch of warriors.
Yeah.
oh,
Nightbringer. you're
okay. On a 4+, it explodes. Each
Yeah,
unit
oh
within
God.
6 inches is D3 mortal wounds. So it can just auto explode
Yeah,
6-inch D3 mortal wounds.
Oh, can you auto explode him? I thought you were talking about you could other things.
I gotta see. Well, I know you can auto explode the Silent King, but I don't know if it explicitly excludes the shards. Those are the little things that I haven't.
Gotcha. There's still.
fine points.
Yeah, we only got. Brinks only got the Codex yesterday.
Yeah, and I built the Silent King, so.
We haven't had time to go over it.
Okay, so I do want to say Entropic Strike is 2 CP. Use this stratagem in a fight phase when a Satan Shard model from your army is selected to fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a melee attack is made by that model, invulnerable saving throws cannot be taken against that attack.
Are they all 350 points, or is he
They're all
cost?
350 points.
So okay. I was gonna say the other ones are
So the
cheaper.
Void
You might just take
Dragon-
the other ones.
No, they're all 3. But see, the crazy thing is that the regular generic ass Transcendent Satan is actually really good because he has these abilities that go on it. So he's got, I'm not going to read them all, but there's 6 abilities that you can add onto him
Okay.
that make you more flexible because he doesn't have a named character ability like
you
the
can-
Deceiver, the Nightbringer, or the Void Dragon.
generic.
See, well, yeah, you can kind of make him his own.
Yeah, he's a little more flexible, but just having that stratagem is really good.
It's 2 CP.
It's 2 CP.
Didn't you say your list with the Silent King started with 15?
15?
Yeah.
You said your relics weren't great, so you're not gonna be taking a bunch of
Nope,
extra ones.
nope. That's the thing with all that. Let's see here. I want to check real quick on the. I I just want to check real quick on the explosion. If you guys want to talk about
He's broke.
something else real quick, I want to check on the
It
explosion.
sure seems.
Self-destruct. Oh no, that's
I mean,
the scarab
it
one.
move, so
It
like
just moves just a little
you
above.
almost have to like hide him, just like stay away from him. Kind of shift your board. You're gonna want to get into Necrons anyway. They're not. Most of them aren't great up close. And if they're sending them across the board, you
But
just
most of
kinda
their
like,
guns and stuff are shorter range stuff.
that's
They
true.
have a lot of AP.
Typically,
though.
how you used in like 8th edition, how you beat Necrons was just staying out of their way
Yeah.
and shooting them off the board.
Sure.
But you can't shoot them off the board because their animation protocols kind of stop
Well,
that.
the warriors.
I
You
think
can- a lot of their other models are way worse than their
Yeah.
animation protocols.
I think I'm on Troy. Like you just try to stay away from him if
It's
you
not gonna
can,
be
and
easy.
it's not. But like if you pick off the other
That's
stuff,
not
that
good.
guy can't hold 3 objectives by himself.
That's
No,
not
but
good.
it
You
can
can win
hold
other
one by
ways.
So that's not good game design to just run away.
No, I
to
agree.
actually just have to run away from.
So you
them.
cannot
I
explode.
agree.
You cannot explode him. You can only
On
explode
purpose.
the him.
Oh, okay.
The Silent King, because I believe he has a vehicle keyword.
He still
So you can
could.
still blow up your like ghost arcs and stuff.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it works on. It's a keyword vehicle,
Oh,
and I
okay,
believe
okay.
the Silent King has keyword vehicle in his
Okay.
name.
He is floating on a giant
Yeah.
command barge throne thing.
It
Is
does.
it a Titanic thing?
Titanic is extra CP, but he's not Titanic.
Oh, he's not Titanic.
He's not Titanic.
He's only
He is
Vaults are
vehicle.
probably the only
He does have keyword vehicle.
He's only 40 inches tall. You know.
So vaults
so
are
the-
your only Titanic.
So the shard cannot guarantee it. None of the Satans can guarantee it explode.
So he-
That's a vehicle thing.
So it's only 50-50 on whether or not he blows up in your shit.
Yeah.
Only.
oh, after he's killed everything, it's only 50%.
I did want to clarify that because that's a good question.
It
so
is.
I was worth.
What Titanic models do you have? Just the vault.
The vault
Forge World
and
stuff?
the obelisk, I think,
Yeah,
or the monolith,
the
not the
giant
obelisk. Yeah,
spider thing from Forge World.
yeah, and the Forge World stuff. So
Oh, the monolith is Titanic,
I believe the monolith is Titanic. It's
which got a lot better in this codex.
it did, but it's a now a Lord of War.
right?
So you have to
it's
take
harder
it. Yeah, you have to take 3 CP just to take the damn thing. It is Titanic. The Tesseract Vault is Titanic, and the obelisk is Titanic.
Yeah, Tesseract Vault got more wounds than a knight. I
It's
think
30 wounds now. So
30 wounds.
you get 90 wounds and take 3 of them. That's
How
only
many
1,500 points.
Yeah, I was supposed to say. You can play 3
I
of
think you
those.
fill it up with warriors the rest of your army.
Yeah, sure.
You fill it out with 1 unit of 20.
What's the
an
cheapest
H-
HQ? The Techno guy?
The 80 points is as cheap as it gets.
That gives you, what, 400 points of warriors? That's nothing.
Well,
That's nothing.
260 is a full unit of 20.
Okay.
So
You probably take like
I'd take a full unit of 20 and then maybe some immortals to sit on
Or some
something.
scarabs or something.
Yeah,
Just
some
fill out.
scarabs. But that'd be super annoying. You're giving up a lot of points though with 3 Tesseract vaults as far as damage. What's crazy is the way the rules are written is I get to have psychic powers and play in the psychic phase, but I don't get fucked with from deny the
Abhor the Witch.
Yeah, abhor the witch
because
stuff.
they're not technically.
They're not psychic powers.
It is powerful. So,
So-
how do they work? Do you have to roll the dice to get them to go off, or they just
Yeah,
go off?
they have specific things that say whether. I
there-
read all those effects I read earlier.
Is there a psyker in your army?
No.
No. He
So
has
it's not
denies.
in the codex.
So you have denies, you have powers, but you can still take Abhor the Witch.
Yes.
Worst codex. Whoever that guy on the internet was. Drunk as hell.
But they've never had psychers aren't their thing. That's
Yeah, they've never actually had psychers.
No, they just look up and just shoot stuff.
Mind bullets.
Oh, yeah. You
Let's
guys
see
can't see,
here.
we just keep putting different things.
So
Silent King's throne.
now the HQs are stacked. Like I said, the Illuminor Caesaris seems really good. The named people are all pretty good. But I really feel like that you get so much play in the non-named characters.
I saw somebody talking about this guy.
Is the command barge still there?
Trey's in the Infinite.
Let's see here. I don't think that's the one that they were talking about. Is the one that he gets 1 free. You just say no to a stratagem.
Yeah, that's the one. That's
Yeah.
not him.
What?
It's a named character. Once per game, you can just say no.
They're
when
like,
your
use
opponent
this
uses a
You get
stratagem.
vect, but you don't have to roll anything, and it just happens.
But you do get your CP refunded.
Oh, okay.
But still, it just happens.
Still.
Yeah, it just happens.
Like all the other ones, there's
They're
a
like,
chance it doesn't
they're
happen.
like, pay to do this. You're like,
Wait,
nah.
let me clarify that I'm pretty sure I haven't. I was like, I can't justify taking him personally because it just seemed like that's like one cool thing to
Put the
do.
Nightbringer on the throne.
Did
That's
they,
what really belongs. I mean, let's be honest. Put him up.
Let's see here.
Now we're
Does
talking.
the storm still exist? The storm guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, he got buffed.
Oh, great. And did they leave in the Doom size one?
No, that's
No.
gone.
You're cutting the doom size from your list.
I had cut them
You
anyway.
cut them back. Yeah.
I cut them when they were still
You did-
technically good.
I'm just sad because you did so much work on them.
I didn't do anything on the Doom size. Those are the
Oh,
Doomsday
the murder
arcs.
doomsday.
Doom
arc,
size
yeah.
of the flyers. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
those are the croissants.
The-
I cut the croissants.
The moon thing.
Which
yeah.
flyers have been harder to take in 9th edition overall?
Vehicles have been harder to take in 9th edition.
No. Flyers in general, they took away the air wing detachment, so unless you're taking... Yeah, there's no way to get 3 without taking 2 detachments.
But what about
Tricky
this? So we talked a lot about the Nightbringer. What about the Silent King? Is he...
We'll get to the Silent King. I'm going through each detachment
What about
style.
the other guy, like the Deceiver and the Void Dragon?
Okay,
Wait,
so the Void Dragon's main thing is he's the vehicle meta answer.
Yeah.
If vehicles are the meta, he's your bread and butter, right?
I
Especially
feel like Necrons are like anti-vehicle as fuck. Anyway.
exactly.
Agreed.
I feel like it's just overkill to play, and personally,
but
like
the model is sweet.
it is. I'm gonna buy one, so because of that. So here's
Order
the thing.
only.
Yeah, it's just So its main profile is the Spear of the Void Dragon. It's a 12-inch range heavy one weapon, which hits on a 2,
Sure.
strength 9, AP minus 4,
Strength 9.
flat 6 damage, or not flat 6, D6 damage. But here's the thing: you target something, and everything in between those 2 points.
Yeah, he's got like Mortarian's gun, right?
Yeah, so you draw a straight line between the closest point of the model's base and the closest model in the unit. Make 1 wound roll against the target. And each other unit the line passes over, each time an attack made with this weapon is allocated to a vehicle model, that attack has a damage characteristic of D3 plus 3.
Oh my god.
So you,
mid
you have to roll a
4.
wound on every unit it passes over, but it's
Yeah.
like strength 8, right?
Strength
Strength 9.
Oh god, of course it is.
So it's still going to wound on average 3.
Yeah, I don't wound everything in the game on 3 except for Forge World stuff.
Yeah, luckily it's unit, so... And it's not mortal
It's not
wounds, so if it's
model?
like a... No, it's not model. And it's not mortal wounds. It's just damage.
Just damage. So you do.
So
your
it doesn't like
saves.
blow out infantry. You know what I mean? Because if it was D3 plus 3 against like guardsmen or space marines, I feel like that would really hurt just because it's average 2 space marines.
Is that what Mortarian? That's what his Mortarian's gun does.
Yeah, but it's
something
just
similar,
flat
right?
3, I think. It's
Yeah.
only strength 8.
I
And
just
the-
like the ability. It makes you.
What's the
not,
range on
you
that
know,
one?
12 inches.
12.
Okay, Mortarian.
That's the- Now the other thing is his spear, what it actually does is when you're attacking, it's strength 9, AP minus 4, D6 damage. And each time an attack made with this weapon is allocated to a vehicle, that attack has a damage characteristic of D3 plus 3 instead of D6.
I haven't heard you read something that's not AP minus 4 yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're
that
definitely...
real?
Warriors aren't.
Oh, they're only -2.
Oh,
Oh,
my 6.
oh no.
I think they're -1.
I think.
Necron Warriors -1. Their Gauss Reaper, which is a super short range gun, is -2.
Oh.
And it's strength 5. Which I actually think does have some viability in, like, I'm thinking about doing 1 unit of the Gauss Flayers and 1 unit of Gauss Reapers and trying to
Warrior bomb, the small one.
Warrior Bomb the Reapers on the opponent, because it is...
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm taking units of 17 just because that's where points left me. And I still think average, you're only, like on reanimation protocols, you're maybe losing a model by math. It's not that bad to cut 3. So I'm thinking that would be going up on your opponent. You're talking, what would that be? It'd be 34 shots.
Yeah.
34.
Rapid fire.
Yeah, they're assault.
They're assault.
Assault 2.
Oh god.
So they so their strength, they used to be rapid fire, and originally they changed them to assault 2, so they're strength 5, AP minus 2, damage 1, and you get 34 shots
12-inch range.
at 12-inch range.
Which matters less if you're coming in from a deep strike
Oh
bomb.
yeah.
Because they'll be within, you know.
Yeah, they'll be within 9. So, but they were.
Are they? So, say you shoot your 34 shots. Are they worth charging? If you know.
Well, so they're still strength 4. They only get 1 attack apiece in their weapons, and they have like no AP, but they are still a tar pit. You know what I mean? And they reanimate after each thing attacks.
That's-
I don't understand because they have axes on their guns. I feel like they should have.
They
some
should
kind of
have
metal.
at least like you know, like the new.
I mean, think about giving them minus.
Yeah, I
think
agree.
about. I mean, they're already very good as they are.
I'm not trying to make them better.
saying they have
Just-
axes on their guns.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, the Space Marines have chains on their swords. They get -1.
But they do have a 3-up weapon skill and ballistic skill, which I think is fine. They're T4, strength 4, so they're
Can't
relevant.
you make them T5?
And yeah, or strength 5, or +1 to their ballistic skill from the Luminar.
But it's random, so you can't.
Yeah.
You can't pick. It's
You don't have a
And
strategy.
Immortals are still viable. I mean, they're T5, strength 4. They have a 30-inch blaster that's rapid fire.
why not?
That's strength 5, AP minus 2. damage 1. Like, they're no slouch. I mean, I'm super on board. So we'll continue through because I know we got a lot to cover, and I'm trying to get through it without making a 17-hour episode. The Hexmark Destroyer, I still think that dude has viability. I misspoke, and he can't reroll infinitely. So, like, he gets 6 gunshots, right? Mm. And each one of those that kills a model can shoot again. But those shots cannot generate more hits. But
you could get 12 shots.
He can get 12 shots, and he's only 75 points.
Sounds like 12 dead guardsmen.
Yeah,
Definitely sounds like 12 dead guards.
He's 75 points, he's strength 5, he's T5, and he has 5 wounds. For 75 points...
What's his gun profile?
Strength 6, AP -1, damage 1.
Ugh.
Which is solid.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, I mean, if you're shooting into, like...
And he hits on 2s, right?
3, or 2s, yeah. And, I mean, even if you're shooting into, like, Eradicators, you're still wounding on 3s. Like, that's pretty good. And you could just pump all 6 of those shots into an Eradicator, right? I guess that would only give you 1 extra shot, probably. So, that wouldn't work, but you could probably try to pump 4 or something in there and try to get an extra shot and pump into another Eradicator. And that's like the worst example, but that's a common model that, you know, we could talk about. So I think he has some viability. He's not in any of my lists right now, mostly because I'm trying to test the bread and butter and see how hard to push it. The Technomancer's ability to revive D3 Immortals or Warriors each turn is really good. I think that's something that, and the Luminor Caesaris can do it, 2 D3 models each turn or something like that. So that's crazy as far as that stuff goes. The other elite slot, though, that I'm really, really excited about is the Triarch Stalker.
Is that
that's the spider guy over there. So he's a little bit improved overall, and I like it. I like what they've done with him. So he's got a heat ray. It's 24 inches, heavy 2, strength 8, AP -4, D6 damage. If it's in half range, it's melta. It's D6 +2. He's got and I've been running with the Gauss cannons as well. So it's heavy 6, strength 7, AP -3, 3 damage.
He hits both?
No, those are the 2 options I'm looking into, I believe. Let's see here. Let me go. Where was I at? There was some. Oh, he has quantum shielding, which new quantum shielding is fine. Just for him, it's actually really good because he's only toughness 6.
What is the new quantum shielding?
Yeah,
so you have
right?
So he has a 5-up invuln, and which he's always had. But if the damage rolls do get to happen, you can only wound, or when you go to roll your wound rolls, you can only wound on a 4+. Which versus a vehicle that's only T6, that's really good. That makes a lot of things that would wound him on.
So they all have transhuman physiology.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
And that's just built into him. And the big thing is each time it makes a ranged attack against a unit, if it scores a hit, not a wound, any friendly Necrons, not core, none of that, gets to reroll 1s.
Against that unit.
Nice. Which is really nice if you just want to kill something.
Right.
Which is kind of my idea is, you know, I'm going to try to utilize him to pepper some captain-like rerolls for my units. That's my thought process with him. Because he can also have the particle shredder, which is 24 inches. No, that's not the one he can have. Where's the other gun? I thought he could have a little gun. I guess he doesn't on this new one. So he just has the one big gun, but it's still insane. And the dispersed version of it is heavy 2d6, strength 5, AP -1 damage. So that's the other profile of the heat ray.
Didn't you say you could like heal D3 wounds or something?
This guy, yeah. Does he have living metal? Yeah, he has living metal. And he is a dynastic Necron, so the Technomancer, which I have the cloak on that lets you do that. Instead of healing 1, you heal D3 each turn if you pick that model. And then once again, the dynastic protocol, you can do 2 in 1 turn instead of 1 from that as well. So he can be fairly stout, and he's got 12 wounds. So I mean, it's not a slouch of a model. And I really think, just the way, in my opinion, the way the HQs are kind of independent. In this, the way I see the way Necrons are going to play, the HQs feel pretty independent. So having a Triarch Stalker is like, that's your captain. You're going to say, well, what unit needs my rerolls? And he's going to target that most of the time, and that's going to be your reroll thing. So that's my perception of what I'm going to try to do with a Triarch Stalker. And the thing is, if he does get into melee, because he's going to kind of hold my midfield for me, because he doesn't have super duper long range, his Stalker 4 limbs are Strength 7, AP minus 2, flat 3 damage, and he gets 3 attacks. So, I mean, if you try to melee him, he can kill some shit, which I think is relevant. What you checking on?
The Scorpec Destroyers.
Yeah,
Did
Scorpec
they change
Destroyer.
at all?
They're great.
Did they go
the problem
up in
is,
points?
no, they went down 5
Is
points
that,
up.
the
Oh
guys,
my
is that the
God.
guys with the blades instead of guns?
Yes, I don't have them over
These
there.
are the guys you hid in the 80 shots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they have 80 shots.
No, I used them as Terminators.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Yeah. Sorry.
what?
Or no, they were Obliterators.
They're
What about the
Obliterators.
new destroyer with the big ass gun? Is he good?
Yeah, we're gonna get to him. He actually seems really good. As a one-up, I like him put within a destroyer
you can
unit.
take-
Confines of a bubble.
Like
Yeah.
the destroyer.
So the Scorpec Destroyers are great. Their biggest weakness is they're in the elite slot, and I don't know if you like. For me, I'm taking a patrol and a Supreme Command, and it's really hard because like you pretty much always want a Triarch Stalker for 140 points. That model is insane.
Yeah.
For the effect because it's such a good buff, and the Heat Ray we all know, freaking heavy 2, strength 8, AP minus 4, D6 damage is a great gun.
Yeah.
So
the other profile's not bad either. 2d6 shots.
yeah. So it's like that pretty much guarantees a slot. And right now, if you want to play a Satan, that's your other elite slot. So you basically then have to go into battalions, which means you got to take triple troops and double HQ. It gets a little bit harder, in my opinion. So
He's coming hot.
let's see here. Scarab Swarms, I still really like. I like that you can just remove a model from the unit and deal D3 mortal wounds with a stratagem.
Does that cost a CP now? Or,
Yep.
or
Yeah.
still-
It's cost a CP, but to me that's still like a really good emergency button. Tomb Blades, I want to test them. Haven't played them. They're 2 wound models. You're gonna pretty much always play them with the particle beamer. It's Assault 6, Strength 5, AP 0, Damage 1. And if you're playing those, you're gonna have to play them with the Dynasty that gives you AP 1 or plus AP at half range. I think that's the way you play Tomb Blades. I think that's the only way they're viable. Personally,
You said Tesla's bad now?
yes, Tesla's bad. You could play them with Twin Gauss Blasters, but they're a little bit more points, so they have to do some work. Twin Gauss Blasters, they're 30-inch range, AP minus 2, Strength 5, Damage 1, and they're Rapid Fire 2. So at 15 inches, they get 2 shots. But the Assault 6 on the Particle Beamer probably converts almost as many wounds most of the time. And it's 5 points cheaper.
I think
So,
it depends on what you're planning on playing. Like if you're going up against Custodes and Reigns,
yeah,
2 up saves is kind of.
it's rough.
It's really hard.
It's rough. So, like I said, I'm not sure how
in that army. Not everything has to have a billion AP.
Yeah,
But
and
it could.
the
But it
benefit
could.
to them, to me now, is they're a cheap 14-inch movement unit with core. So
all
I
the
don't
right
perceive them
things.
as a highly offensive model so much as an objective holder.
Which I think we've seen bikes basically around
Yeah,
all night.
yeah, they're my bikes, and they're only like I think it's like 30 points a model,
That's not bad.
so they're
What's
pretty
How
good.
big a unit can you take?
9, but I think you take 5. You don't want to activate blast on them because they're only T5s, they're only 2 wounds, but they do have reanimation protocols built into them, and living metal, so that's kind of interesting.
Living metal?
Yep, they have 2 wounds, so they can.
Nice.
If one has a damage on it, it can go back up, and it has reanimation protocols. So
The guy that brings the unit back, like D3, he can do that to core units, right?
no, it's warriors specifically,
only with warriors.
specifically warriors.
But he reanimates 1 if it's just a core
He
unit.
can reanimate 1, so he can reanimate a Tomb Blade, but not
Oh
D3.
my god.
But still.
Yeah. So it's pretty. They're interesting, but the thing is, with warriors, it makes sense because they're the same movement.
Right.
Tomb Blades, they're 14 inches of movement. He's probably not going to be in range.
That's true.
It's kind of my thought process when it
You're
comes
gonna bring
to.
back a model.
A model might as
Yeah.
well.
Bike's probably not the best.
Wouldn't you go for something a little bigger?
Well, there's not really anything else like bigger because I don't think
I don't think destroyers are core.
the destroyers. I don't believe they are core. No, they're not core.
Good.
So that's kind of like the best thing you could bring back. I think you always want to bring back D3 warriors.
Yeah, D3 Warriors in general is going to be.
It's a pretty good conversion. Triarch Praetorians. Let's go ahead and get on board with these guys. They can get. They start with base 3 attacks. They can get up to 2 more attacks. So a unit of 10 comes in at 50 attacks. Let's see here. 50 attacks is strength I believe. Yeah, strength 5, AP -3, flat 2 damage.
Not -4.
Still got that 6-up save there.
Yeah.
And they have a 3-up skill, and they've got a couple
You
of different.
can give them 50 attacks, but really, what are you going to need 50 attacks against?
I think you're gonna always probably do the 40 attacks because it's just a CP, and then you don't have to take a certain like dynastic thing to get it. But you can just spend a CP to give them.
But that's like killing night territory.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you're not always good, but the potential to do it. So
2
like
damage or 3 damage?
2, flat 2.
Flat 2.
-3.
Yeah, it's good. They're marine killers.
What's their movement?
10 inches and they fly.
What is it?
10 inches in the. What?
It's good. So my current army, I'm seeing the way I perceive the way I'm going to play is a 3-pronged assault, and this is a little bit more fluffy of a list. But I'm bringing a Nightbringer, the Silent King, and this unit. Those are my 3 key units that individually can pretty much kill any one thing on the board.
Fluffy.
And 2 of them can't die.
Yeah, that's not. This isn't the sweat list. This is the funsy list.
The funsy list.
I mean, it's the cool model list. Like, there's no spam really. It's only playing 30.
Did you guys get any kind of like deep strike that's not the one you normally like? Did you get a deep strike stratagem?
So yes, then I'm pretty excited about it. You can put
Why?
20 warriors inside of a night scythe now,
Sure, cool. Why not?
Oh, okay.
which is crazy.
You don't say?
Because you can drop them, within you can drop them closer to enemy models.
Well, they don't have to be 9 inches away.
No, it's it's a stratagem, I believe, that lets you move them in out of the night side. I'll look it up here in a little bit when we find something for you guys to talk about to clarify. But being able to move that many warriors is really a big deal.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
And
Let's just put it wherever I want.
so the Night Scythe is suddenly really viable. Also, the other profile on the Praetorians, just in case the million
50
attacks
shots wasn't good enough. Yeah.
5 minus.
They do have 10 shots at Strength 5 -3 AP2 as well.
Wait, they get that with the. They have that too.
Yeah,
What's the range?
12. Yeah.
Deep strike him.
Yeah.
Murder something and
Yeah.
then charge and murder
Or
something else.
you can, if you get your 6-inch pregame move, you got 16
Yeah,
inches
yeah,
on the
yeah,
first
yeah.
turn plus 12 inches range. So,
Yeah.
28
This
inches
fucking guy
effective
over here.
They
range.
could very viably kill
He
a
spent
unit of a lot of
3
things
weeks.
before
Aaron
you
spent
charge.
3 weeks complaining about how Necrons weren't going to be as good as the Space Marines. They're only buffing Space Marines, and everything in this book is just ridiculous.
I don't know if ridiculous, but
I'm
it
leaving.
is good.
That's it. I'm
is
done.
good.
I don't
Those
know.
guys are nasty. If they get 10 shots and that many attacks,
Everything's -3 or 4 AP.
Yeah.
Everything.
like 10 flat 2 damage shots that are -3.
Yeah.
Like you'll kill a squad of Marines.
Yeah.
Easily.
This army isn't.
And then
kind of
his
feels like a
one
Marine.
model will just be walking around the
And I
table.
assume they hit on 3s both in combat and out of combat.
Yeah. 3/3. So their profile is 10-inch movement with fly, 3-inch weapon skill, 3-inch ballistic skill, strength 5, T5, 2
Oh,
wounds,
and they're T5.
Oh, of course. Why? Hey, look, Zach's been on that
You said
train
2
for.
wounds?
2 wounds. Yeah.
So, in every animation protocol, right? But it's a little worse.
They have living metal and reanimation
of course they
protocols.
Oh, I know.
Of course
Living metal doesn't even mean name.
Nah, I mean,
Still.
it means if you deal 1 damage, they'll heal it, but yeah.
Yeah, but who cares?
Well, it's
Because
like
when
if
you
you.
reanimate, it comes back.
Well,
at
it's
full
like if you
health,
deal
right?
3 damage, so you kill one, and then if you have
and then
like
you
a bunch of
reanimate the
one.
one that died, and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
heal
yeah.
the one that's. Yeah, we
get it. We're there.
That only works on like mortal wounds though.
I mean,
Like if I do flat 3 damage.
Well,
I'm
if
not-
you
we're
shoot-
talking about just 3
fucking kills
wounds.
one.
Like if you shoot with a bunch of 1 damage weapons,
Yeah.
is kind of my thing at the unit. It's not going to be
Which-
super relevant, but
Outside of guardsmen, Zach's army doesn't have that many 1 damage.
well, no, a lot of
Now that heavy bolts do 2 damage,
bolters though, Space Marine bolters and
Yeah.
flamers are all 1 damage weapons.
which are wounded on 5s, it's normal.
Don't get me wrong, I think it's good. I did paint Canoptic Wraiths this week because I think that they're going to have some viability. So we'll go over theirs. We're just going to go over
It took
these.
away the 3 of them vulnerable, though, right?
They did. It's a 4-up now, which is still good.
Oh,
Still good.
no.
Yeah.
So there you got 12 inches of movement. They can ignore terrain. They move through things as though it wasn't there. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 4, strength 4, T5, wounds 3.
They move
Ooh,
through.
they hit on
things.
4s?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're ghosts.
they're-
They're spooky.
Yeah, yeah.
They hit on 4s, though?
Yeah.
Eh.
They have 4 attacks, and then they have a flat armor save of a 3-up. So, let's see here.
They do look cool.
They definitely look.
I think you play them with the transdimensional beamer. If you're going to play with a weapon, it's assault 1, strength 4, AP 3, damage flat 3. But I don't even think you necessarily run them with a weapon because they're really get in and
How
get
many
nasty.
points is that weapon?
I believe it's like 15 points.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't.
Especially if you're hitting on fours. Like,
Yeah, I don't think
kinda
that's the
kills
way
it
you
for
do
me.
it.
Squads of 3.
Yeah, squads of 3 to 6.
Oh,
So once again, I think this is a unit you would take as 5 if you were going to play him. I don't think playing 3 brings enough power, but I think you play him with 5. And I believe, I'm almost 100% sure there's a stratagem that gives him an extra ballistic skill, or there's a way to give him to 3s again to hit. I think they might be able to be My Will Be Done or something.
so if you just take a Wraith, what's its static attack?
Static attack is Vicious Claws, which would be coming in at Strength 6, AP -2, flat 2 damage. And it also has
oh
Whip.
my goodness!
So those are the 4
They're Marine
attacks.
killers too.
And
Everything does at least 2 damage in this army.
Feels like they've buffed a lot of weapons to do just 2 damage across the board.
Is anything bad?
yeah, I'm skipping over a lot of stuff
Okay.
that's not good. I'm trying to talk about the things that are
Not good for
that I think are viable. Because I want people to understand, like, just because it's not broken and unfair doesn't mean it's not viable.
What about the Silent King?
We're gonna get there.
I
What
want-
about Cryptex? Are Cryptex still good?
Cryptex are the
I know you said they changed
Technomancer.
them.
They changed them. So the Technomancer is a Cryptex. He has 4 profiles. He has the Plasmancer, the Cryptomancer, and so you basically have 4 different variants of, they call it Cryptech, and then he has a profile. And the Technomancer is the one that I like the most, which is the healer. The Plasmancer is probably the worst one. Then it has 2 other profiles, and I think the other 2 profiles are actually pretty viable.
I remember one of, like, that's the one that got a couple new models, right? The Technomancer and the
Yeah, they just rolled it into calling it a Cryptech, though,
Okay.
which I thought was really cool. I actually liked the way they did that. I feel like it cleaned up some of the weird stuff. So you have a Chronomancer, a Technomancer, a Psychomancer, and a Plasmancer.
Oh, okay.
And they all kind of have different effects. The Psychomancer is really bad, too. His main, like, special ability is affecting leadership, which that's just never good to me.
Man, they're not going to give up on that leadership.
No, but the Chronomancer will probably have some viability. Just so you know.
Does the alter
How
time?
could they make that ability?
What, leadership?
How could they make that good or bad?
They've
The
tried.
problem is leadership is such like a tightrope walking to where you could just absolutely break the game if you make it too good. Because
Yeah,
it could
definitely in
generate.
8th edition, we've seen some different like leadership bombs where
Yeah.
you lower it enough and just murder. But most of the time, it's not going to be that relevant.
Yeah, I agree.
They have to. It has to be in the game, right? Like morale and all that.
Yeah.
It definitely balances. But I don't know. To get it where you can abuse it, it's
And if you're abusing it, it's really,
It'd
really
be
powerful.
way too good, yeah.
So that's the problem. I don't think it'll ever be good.
and right
I think
now,
it's just a
right now
casual
big
thing.
units aren't even a thing anyway.
Yeah. So let's go on to Doomsday Arc is probably, I don't know. I need the points. So I'm playing the Canoptic Doomstalkers instead because they strapped a Doomsday Arc cannon pretty much
To his dome.
to his dome. Now the range is shorter, but other than that, it's basically the same gun.
But you lose the 20 rapid fire shot. Or
You lose the rapid. Well, you lose. So you don't have rapid fire 5 anymore, but the Canoptic Doomstalkers do have rapid fire 2 gun, the same gun.
Oh.
So it gets 4 shots instead of 10. But I mean, you're talking about saving 50 points a model. So when you take 2 of those, you're saving almost a Doomstalker's worth of points.
Right.
So to me, I'd much rather play 3 Canoptic Doomstalkers than 2 Doomsday Arcs. I guess would be my big thing. You know what I mean? Like I want more of the high power
Does
cannon.
it have quantum shielding too?
The Canoptic Doomstalker does not have quantum shielding. He just has a 4-up invuln, but he has this new ability called Sentinel Construct, which is awesome. He also has a stratagem. I believe it's 2 CP. If a character's killed, any Canoptic Doomstalkers that can see that character and it's within range can shoot that model immediately.
Oh
They
my
killed it.
goodness.
So if like a vehicle or something melees the shit out of the Silent King and they're in range, they can just shoot it.
You mean Technomancer?
Yeah, or Technomancer.
What's the Sentinel ability you were
The Sentinel ability lets them. Now this gives them Overwatch, like Greater Good, basically. So I'll read it. Each time an enemy unit declares a charge against a friendly Dynasty or Dynastic Agent unit within 6 inches of them. So not even them, just like anything that's a Dynastic, which is pretty much the whole army except for Satans. This model can fire Overwatch at the charging unit as if it were also a target of the charge. This is in addition to any units that are firing Overwatch. Each time this model fires Overwatch, it makes attacks with its Doomsday Blaster using the high power profile.
Oh. It still can't move and use the high power profile though?
No, it's got a 48-inch heavy D6, strength 5, AP minus 5, D6 damage. They did make it blast though, which is awesome. Because
48-inch blast weapon.
yeah, with flat D6, and then the move profile though is still 24 inches, D6, strength 8, AP minus 2, D3 damage. So it's still a solid profile. And I think with Doomstalkers, especially now, because the pregame move doesn't count as moving during the turn, so you can really focus on positioning before your turn to get them into place. And they do have a 10-inch movement, so if they have to move, they still have an effective, with your 6-inch pregame move, they have an effective 40-inch range on the first turn.
The model's sweet.
Yeah, and that was my favorite model.
They do have less table profile, so you can kind of get them in places.
Yeah, which is up and down. Like parking a Doomsday Arc on an objective is really cool, especially if your whole army has objective secured.
Right.
But I think these guys, it's just the points. It's the points. I mean, that's the main thing. The Ghost Arc with the Warrior buff seems crazy. The Ghost Arc has the ability to regenerate D3 warriors as well. So if you're transporting warriors to that sweaty list that you guys saw with the 50 warriors, the unit of 10's in the Ghost Arc, but it's going to run up there with the 2 units of 20, and it can regenerate warriors alongside the Technomancer and the Illuminors as Eris. So you're regenerating 43 warriors a turn.
So it transports warriors and
regenerates warriors.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Sure, why not?
And it's got a 12-inch move, and it's got, a 24-inch rapid-fire 5 gun, so if you get within 12, it's 10 shots.
24-inch rapid-fire 5?
Yeah.
It's got 2 of them, right?
Yeah, it does. So yeah, it's 2
shots?
of them.
Yeah, that's the way that it's one on each.
So it's strength 4, AP minus 1, damage 1. Nothing too crazy.
20 shots? 20 shots.
But the warriors have to be within 6 inches.
To get reanimated?
Yeah, which isn't bad. I don't know. I think that's viable. Once again, I don't want to talk about the size. They are what they are. I don't want to talk about the obelisk. I don't really want to talk about the Tesseract Vault. Because I think that's, if it's good, it's going to be cheese. And it's going to get nerfed again. Or it's just not good. Those are where I think it's at.
I want it to be cheese for 2 weeks and watch it happen.
We've seen it. It happened.
Yeah, it happened last in 8th edition.
Yeah, you take three and it's nasty.
It's going to be that week of, here's Tolarian Academy and Time Spiral and
I
stuff.
don't,
Yeah.
9th edition itself isn't kind of built for that kind of, because it's going to be hard to get objectives and shit, but
they would definitely be super murdery.
if you can get 3 units of warriors alongside it, then I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. The main issue for me is the Tesla spheres are strength 7, AP 0, damage 1.
Look how sweet they look, though.
I know.
Strength 7 is not bad, though.
No, it's the lack of AP, but every 6 rolls counts as 2 additional hits.
So you can still kill.
Yeah, so on 24 shots, or on, it's here, it has 4 of them, so it'd be 16 shots, right? And what would that be? 15% of those would be extra hits, so that's like 3, we'll say 3 sixes.
Hey, if it
hits
good,
on 3s.
If it's good and you're new and you want to buy a new army, just buy 3 of those.
The vaults are hard to get.
Yeah, they are hard
and that would be a hard army. That would be a hard one to win with, because points wise. So I wouldn't suggest it as a starting army.
Yeah, but it would look sweet.
It definitely looks sweet.
I really want to find a way to see if the monolith is viable. I do think that there's some possibility to say, all right, I'm gonna take Silent King. And I'm going to take a super heavy auxiliary for the monolith, because you get the extra CP from the Silent King, and then take a patroller battalion.
So you could do that. You do all 3 of those attachments, and you still get 12 command points.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is good.
Yeah.
You don't say.
I'm not saying it's bad.
So
Sure.
the monolith now has 24 wounds, and its ballistic skill is 3. And it's equipped with 4 Gauss Flux arcs, which are 30-inch, rapid fire 3, strength 5, AP minus 2, damage 1.
It's only AP 2? Are you sure you didn't read that wrong?
Yeah, but no. Here's the
Rapid Fire
thing.
3.
Here's the thing. I would run. Yeah, it says rapid fire 3.
You sure it doesn't say AP minus 4?
It has 4 rapid fire 3s.
Yeah, it has 4
So
rapid.
12 and then 24 shots.
But it has a whip, too.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting there. So the whip, if has 36-inch range, it's D6, strength 12, AP 3, flat 3 damage, and it's blast. That's also on there. Now, what I would do is I would cut the arcs. I would cut the arcs, and I would run Death Rays, because the Death Rays are, so it'd be 4 heavy ones, strength 9, AP minus 3, damage D3 plus 3.
I think other one is actually going to put out more damage. Though.
Well, you're going to have warriors coming out of it, though. So you want to put out... I feel like you want to use this as like a heavy battery because it's going to be up forward on the table. And you want to use this as kind of like a heavy battery for
next to your Nightbringer, or somewhere.
That would have to replace the Nightbringer due to the points.
Yeah, points. How many points is a monolith now?
I think it's 350 as well. So it's pretty much a trade out.
That's not bad for 24 wounds.
No, but the portal. So say they try to melee it. The portal does all the. So it has 6 attacks. They automatically hit. It's AP3 flat 3 damage. So if you try to attack it. It gets 6 auto hits, AP3, strength 8.
Strength 8?
Yeah.
Man.
It only works in melee?
Yeah, that says it's the portal. It's like the portal is arcing onto him, essentially. So coming in and touching it now is really bad because they gave that a pretty decent buff.
How many attacks?
6.
The 6 auto hits that are strength 8 minus 3 damage.
Yeah.
In melee.
In melee.
Auto hits in melee, you say?
Yeah.
The hell?
Yeah, each time an attack is made with this weapon, that attack automatically hits the target.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Yeah, and its abilities. It's got living metal, of course.
I don't have anything in my whole army that
Does it have
hits.
quantum shielding?
I don't think it has quantum shielding. No, it does not.
Does it have invulnerable save?
I don't think it has an
It didn't
invulnerable
used
save.
to. So
But it does have 24 wounds,
I mean, that's
and it's
a lot.
toughness 8.
It is T8, yeah.
And it's got 2-up armor save.
And it still does the teleport warriors thing like you
So that's what I'm going to read. So during deployment, you can set this model up in the upper atmosphere instead of placing it on the battlefield. So it's a big drop pod, basically.
Oh.
But you have to be 9 inches away. It's hovering, which doesn't matter. It explodes on a 6+. It does units within 6 inches suffer D6 mortal wounds.
D6 mortal wounds.
Yeah. Eternity Gate. In your movement phase, if this model remains stationary, then in the reinforcement step that phase, it can summon a unit. If it does, select one dynastic core infantry unit from your army that is in strategic reserve. Set the unit up anywhere on the battlefield that is wholly within 3 inches of this model and not within engagement range of enemy models.
Jesus.
So it does drop pod them. It doesn't care if they're 9 inches away. They just can't be in engagement range.
Models in the units are set up using the ability counts as having moved a distance in inches equal to their move carry. So it just counts as a full move in case there's nothing here
But
that
they can go 2 inches away?
Yeah.
Or an inch and a half?
As long
or
as they're
whatever?
not.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But they have to be within 3 inches of that thing, so you'd have to move it close.
The cool thing is just
You can't move. Yeah.
Yeah, because you could deep strike them, and then they'd be like 6 inches away, right?
all right, Chad. We're at the Silent
But
King.
you say reinforcement step?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I
I've
think
never heard
that's
of the
at the end of your
reinforcements.
movement. It's at the end of your movement phase because
You
that's
can't
when you
just add
have.
a step in.
Necrons just adding steps to the game.
All right. So, the Silent King,
Here he is.
the penultimate epic character of the Codex. I personally think I stand by my statement of there's too much on the data sheet for him not to be good. And he just looks too cool to
It's
not
an
play.
You were right
Entire-
when you said there's too much on the data sheet. Full stop.
It's an entire page of the Codex.
Yeah.
But all the Primarchs and stuff are their own page, so I can live with that.
So he effectively has 26 wounds, right? He's got the 2 miners that have to absorb damage before he can take it.
Now, do you have to take those, or is that an option?
No, you have to take
You have to take
it. It's
them.
Gotta
built
be there.
into it.
Okay.
So it's 300 or 450 points. All of them are toughness 7 though. Him
Right.
and the miners are T7, which is really good. He's got a 3-up armor save, and then he's got a 4-up invuln. And the miners themselves, they have 5 wounds apiece. They're Annihilator Beam, 36-inch, heavy 1, hits on a 2, AP -4, strength 12, flat 6. So it just kills.
Strength 12, AP -4, flat 6.
Yeah,
36-inch range hitting on 2s.
hitting on 2s.
Hey, that dead.
Yeah,
Just laser beams.
So any kind of no invulnerable thing is just dead.
just dead.
yeah. That's the big thing.
Flat 6
Yeah.
damage. What does that not kill?
I mean, it's only 12 wounds. It doesn't kill a lot of things between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
A lot of
Anything
tanks
with a
have more than
normal
12
save
wounds.
still has a chance to stop
Yeah.
it. But it kills a lot of things.
So then we go on to Sazerac himself. So we'll go with his melee stuff first because it'll just be easier. He starts with 6 attacks, and his 6 attacks he gets to take are with the Scepter of Eternal Glory. So he gets 6 attacks that are strength 9, AP minus 3, flat 2 damage. And then on top of that,
This is a wuss.
he gets an additional, let's see here, 3 attacks with the Staff of Stars, which is strength 5, AP minus 2, 1 damage. And
But doesn't he like lose that one as he
about
brackets
that?
or something?
yeah, as he brackets. And then he also gets the Scythe of Dust, which is an additional 4 attacks at strength 8, AP minus 4, flat 3.
Nice.
So it's a total of 14 attacks, I believe. No, 13 attacks.
Nice.
And it's an obscene amount of damage
You don't say.
out of that. So, and you have to get him down to 8 wounds for him to be bracketed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's, you've dealt.
Because the side things don't actually count towards
No.
the bracket.
No.
So you actually have to do.
So you have to kill both sides.
you have to
and
do
then
18 wounds before you bracket.
before he
Yeah.
bracket him.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
it's-
Oh, also he does like a page worth of stuff.
yeah, well, that's not even his shooting. So his shooting, once again, is also on a 2. He's got the Scepter of Eternal Glory, which is 24 inches, Assault 3, Strength 8, AP minus 3, flat 2 damage.
Only-
Yeah, it's not flat 6. What the hell?
What the
The
hell?
Staff of Stars is 24 inch, Assault 9, Strength 6,
Assault 9.
Strength 6, AP minus
Now
2.
you have to choose when you shoot. or-
These all shoot.
Oh, of course they do.
AP minus 2, because he's got 2 guys on the side handling the
Oh,
baby
okay.
staff.
Oh,
which are
sure,
these,
sure, yeah.
And then he's got the Big Daddy staff.
Yeah, right.
So it's Strength 6, AP 2, flat 1 damage. It's just another Marine killer. And then, let's see here. Zach is so salty.
So salty.
So then, and then obviously the manners. That's
Can't
all
wait till
the.
guard is the last codex to come out.
Yeah. That's
Two
all of
years
this.
from now we'll get guard.
Zach will just quit.
So
We'll get guard in 6 months.
let's go
10
on
will
to
come out.
his. Let's go on to his abilities.
Oh, of course.
He's got living metal.
Uh-huh.
So we talked about the heals are going to be
Yep,
That's-
insane.
very good.
Do the stone things have it as well?
I don't think they do.
Or it just kind of depends if it like it's one unit, right?
Yeah, it is one unit. So yeah, they have it.
Oh, yeah.
And you can do the, and he can do the, so there's the protocol to let you heal 2 wounds instead of 1 on living metal, and he can make that technically happen 2 turns in a row. So like if he's not the focus of shooting, it could be a problem. So we'll do Noctilith Beacons. He can deny a power within, as if he were a Psyker. So that's 18 inches, right?
That's
Psykers can.
24. If it's just a normal device,
Oh,
a normal
well then
device.
all
it's,
denies are 24. Yeah.
all right, I thought it was 18. So 24 inch, he can deny a power. The Obstinate Generators. It makes anything that touches or that gets into combat with him fight last. We still need to clarify. It sounds like if both things have fight last, it's whoever's turn it is. I would like to get some clarification on
But
that.
it sounds like, from what we think, it just negates fight first. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it
doesn't
negates
care about
fight
that.
first because it says it doesn't say he fights first. It says everything that tries to fight him fights after everything
We
else
just-
eligible to fight.
We just don't know if there's 2 guys that do that to each other.
Right now,
everything
it's-
else fights, and then which one of those guys?
Like,
Yeah.
right now, I think there's only a couple models that do that.
Yeah.
And
So-
they aren't models you would send in to fight this guy.
No.
Yeah.
Like the Judicar, even though he has the ability, he ain't coming in there. Fight him.
So here was one of the big ones, the reason why I'm also taking Praetorians. Pharaon of the Stars. It's an aura, it's a 6-inch aura, and he's got 8 inches of movement, so he's got good movement. While friendly Necrons, core or Triarch Praetorians specifically, are you within 6 inches of him, each ranged attack they make can reroll the hit rolls. So they get reroll misses, not ones, hit rolls. So that makes their ballistic skill seem less shitty. Alright? And then Pharaon of the Blades, same thing. With the Praetorians or Necron core within 6 inches, they can reroll wound rolls.
Just straight.
So, if he's next to warriors, they reroll all failed hits and wounds.
Yeah. Well, that's in melee. The wounds are in melee.
Oh, the melee. Okay.
Yeah.
But the shooting still.
Not wounds on ones, like wounds, period.
But it's
Yeah.
only melee. But shooting is. But it's shooting.
Shooting's
next time.
period.
Shooting is wounds, or shooting is hits, wounding is melee. Those are the 2 auras.
Okay.
That's the best way to think about it. He has an aura for core or Praetorians within 6 inches of him. In the selected, they get a +1 to their advance or their movement. So that's just an aura. It gives them an extra movement, which is obviously good. He gets to My Will Be Done 2 times, which means you can select Necrons or Praetorians, and they get to add 1 to their attack hit roll. So that's where you get the extra hit,
Okay, so-
the plus, because it specifies Praetorians here. I knew it was somewhere that I had that going on. So you can target warriors.
There's so
and
many
if-
things on the.
Yeah, that's half of his abilities.
That's just half.
Of course it is.
And then, so Voice of the Triarch, which is obviously crazy. Once per battle, at the start of the battle round, if he is on the battlefield, you can alter your command protocols. It has to be one you didn't assign, but you can use one twice, and then you have two or so that you didn't assign that are like your emergency ones. So like on the first turn, you can select to be really offensive, right, or have the extra movement. And if you go second, you could just pivot it to the everything counts as cover on the first turn. So it seems really good to be able to alternate those protocols. And then the last one, or the men basically have to take the damage before he does. The Silent King, you get 3 CP if he's your warlord, which is amazing. And then he has a 4-up invulnerable save. The last two are essentially saying when he loses his profiles, he loses access to the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
What I need to check is there's
He's
an
the
ability
Supreme,
that lets
right?
them fight at their top bracket. Like it fights as though they were in their top bracket. So I don't know if that counts toward the scepters or if the scepters don't get to be applied to that because they have their own rules. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if that just gives him the maximum attacks and movement and all that, or maximum attacks.
I would assume you get that every time.
It says it count, and it's only for the fight phase, so I would assume
He's
he probably gets the stats
he's a
back for that
Supreme,
fight
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a Primarch.
So
Not a Primarch, but he's on that level.
He gets
Yeah.
a Supreme.
yeah, he's Supreme. He's the Supreme Command. So what I'm doing is I'm playing. We'll go over my list real quick, and then I know everybody's
So he
kind of ready
is
to
a Lord
go.
of War, though, if you didn't want to take him in his Supreme Command.
I think it says you have to take him.
Oh.
If he's in
As a Supreme
Command,
Commander, he has to be your warlord. Like that's in his
Oh,
rules.
Gotcha.
You can't just
That's
like
in all
take
the
it.
Supreme Commands, I think.
So my list right now that I'm testing is Silent King, Technomancer, 2 blobs of 17 warriors, full unit of Triarch Praetorians, Triarch Stalker, Night Stalker, 2 Canoptic Doomstalkers. I think that's it. I think that's the whole
The
list.
chick?
Yeah, I said the Nightbringer.
Oh, you're the Nightbringer.
So, what I'm hearing is you could take the Silent King in Supreme Command, take a super heavy of 3 Tesseract Vaults,
And still have 50 points.
still have 50 points, and have 12 command points.
I don't think you get to redeem
No, but
super
he gives
heavy.
you
No,
3.
no, he gives you 3.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you pay 3 for the...
Well, the super heavy with 3 Titanics is like 6 CP, isn't it?
Oh, right. I forgot about that, yes.
So you can still get 9.
Yeah, 9's fine.
9's pretty
Nice,
good.
good. Yeah.
What strategy am I going to have for my Tesseract Vault? It don't matter.
What are you going to use that extra 50 points on?
You can't get attachment for 50 points.
Yeah. Well, you can't take more than 3 detachments. I guess you
That's only
could.
2 detachments,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
there's nothing.
There's no guns or any cool stuff.
No, they just have what they have.
But
No,
50,
they just have
you just leave.
enough.
It's only
it's just
that's it. They only get 1950.
so it's 90
actually.
wounds for the vaults, and then 26. So you're looking at 116 wounds.
Yeah, all T 7 or 8.
Yeah. So we'll be fine. That's more than
And a lot of
that's more than
crazy-
a night list puts on the table.
And a lot of crazy psychic powers that can't be
Because
denied.
knights are 24, and they mostly take 4. So you're
Yeah.
like you're almost an extra knight.
I want to see that list played just for funsies.
It
Well, I
won't be
only have
good.
1 Tesseract Vault.
It
so
wouldn't
that's
be
not
good
gonna happen.
just from getting points wise. Like secondaries would be impossible.
So and then the more competitive list I'm taking is like 50 warriors with 10 of them in the Ghost Arc, a Luminor,
Can the Ghost Arc only hold 10?
yeah, it can only hold 10. If it could hold 20, I would fit it into my fluffy list just so I could also have a Ghost Arc in there and another different model.
Right.
So what's cool is I feel like and the Triarch Stalker, that was the other model in the list. I knew there was something I was missing. So the thing is that I like about Necrons is I actually think like hearing the models, it sounds crazy, but when you go to field it, like you heard the list, it's not that many models. So good volume of firepower if you can just avoid the Nightbringer for a little bit. Like you can kill a lot. It's possible. Like obviously warriors reanimation protocoling after every attack can be a bitch if you roll hot. Like there's going to be some games where it feels like you killed nothing in
Were
a
you
turn.
complaining about you not rolling hot right there? Because I don't think that's ever happened.
No. He was saying he's gonna roll hot.
Yeah, he
So you're just not gonna kill
You
warriors.
could take out the word if you roll hot. Just when you roll hot.
I don't roll hot. I feel like I roll statistically average most of the time because I
Zach?
roll a lot of shots.
Yeah.
I roll
I've got-
hot against Zach for sure.
How many warriors did you reanimate that with?
It wasn't that I reanimated warriors. It was that I made 7 out of 9 6-ups.
That's what it was. That's what. my bad. And then reanimated.
And then reanimated.
Yeah, the next turn you reanimated a shit ton of them.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. But I don't get caught up in people telling you the Codex is bad. There's a lot of play, a lot of different models.
And I don't think anybody's really saying it's bad. It's just saying it's not as good as the Marine Codex, which I'm not sure.
I
think the Marine Codex is more balanced because, like we said, it has better stratagems and relics.
And there's 7 chapters of Marines.
And there's way more Marines in general, like model-wise.
And I really think that a lot of the really crazy shit Marines are doing is going to get FAQ'd, to be honest. Like the regenerating a vehicle.
The dead bomb's gone already, rerolls got nerfed.
Well, and they're already talking about there's either going to be a points adjustment or weapons profile adjustment to Eradicators. A bunch of people are talking about that. Because they're just removing vehicles from the metagame. And when you release basically Eradicator centralized codex, and then you release Necrons, which annihilate vehicles, it seems really bad for it makes it unhealthy for the whole meta. So I know I talked a lot. Appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're as excited. I know these guys.
Excited.
I'm not excited either.
I was talking to the listeners anyway.
Oh.
I'm excited to wreck you.
He's talking to Necron
Are you
players.
still as confident? Are you still as confident in this week's game?
When you lose, you're going to have to tell me I was the better man.
Are you still confident in this week's game?
I'm not.
We're gonna slap bet on this game?
We're not slap betting. I don't slap bet Aaron anymore. I'm happy with my tie, and we'll let it live there. If it's going to take a lot for an Ultramarines list to beat that.
I feel like my upper
it's still
hand
a
is.
Marine list, so.
I feel like my upper hand is I've had a lot of time. I've been soaking
You got
up
the Codex.
rules.
You have a codex and I don't. That
I
could
do. I
be.
have the rules in my hand. So
We'll try to play this game. So when we record next Sunday, we'll have a better.
I think Necrons
feeling.
feel powerful, and I think they feel way more powerful than they did in
and they feel.
8th edition.
I said this this week to you guys. I was like, this is the first time since I've been playing 40K. I'm more excited about my army's looks on the table than I am the list itself.
It does look really good.
Like
on the
there's
table.
just so many dope models, and I'm the spam guy. I'm the guy that runs as much of a unit as possible because I want to get average rolls, right? And this list, I'm not doing that. I got all kinds of different shit, and I'm excited about it. I feel like the warrior spam is definitely the phase 1 top tier way to play Necron.
But you're gonna put other stuff with it because it looks sweet.
But yeah, so I'm not doing warrior spam really. I mean,
I'm still thinking vaults, but it's just me.
yeah. Well, I mean, if I could fit the vault in there too, I will field it. It made me go, well, I guess I'm not selling the vault because I was gonna sell it or trade it for other Necron
Hopefully,
stuff.
within the next month, we'll have the table finished and we'll start having some games on camera.
It's been a
crazy
really hard couple of
2
weeks.
months. It has been nuts since August.
Yeah. So yeah,
Between
I lost my dog this week too, so
Yeah.
that sucked. It's just been absolutely bananas. I put it on my stream thing. Things are gonna go back to normal this week finally. So it has to. It's time. And I'm starting to honestly not having a sick dog in the house right now has alleviated some stress. So
For sure.
it's probably overall a good thing.
Our group took a lot with one of us getting sick, one of us having a kid, 3 of us going back to work.
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
now. It's just
We
nuts.
just don't have the time we used to.
Yeah.
But
the shop's open again, so we can get games up there. We can still play games with Zach when he wants to.
And my new job is now set my schedule where I'm off at 1 p.m. every day. So content.
So
will
maybe
start
we
being-
should get a game in this week.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'll have a stream day off and we can go get a game in
We'll-
around 1
we'll
or 2
definitely
o'clock.
play a game.
Not the shop. We don't open until 3.
You don't open until 3? Okay. I thought it was sooner.
He goes home all the time.
There you go.
We'll get a game.
We'll get something going on. I don't want her to hear Chad screaming though.
No, I won't be screaming with the baby. I understand.
So anyway, question of the week. I feel like I gotta ask a question of the week about Necrons.
What's your favorite dope Necron?
Am I overreacting on this night?
Yes, is Zach
Is Zach-
overreacting on the Nightbringer?
Spoiler alert, no.
Yeah.
I think something's actually going to happen for that model. I don't think you can leave it the way it is and just let it run around.
I think you can. They all have Necrodermis, and there's a stratagem that lets any of them do it. So I feel like that has been thoroughly tested. and it's going to feel gross until we get a couple more codexes out. Because I do agree, right now it feels like a 9th edition model running around in 8th edition, but clearly they've balanced 9th edition around some models being able to do this.
Just the not being able to take 3 wounds, more than 3. Like,
Yeah, send us.
like the model literally feels unkillable.
Yeah.
Like some stuff we've played with, like Mortarion, Knight, I mean, it's felt hard to kill. This thing feels unkillable. Like, it doesn't matter, like, what are you gonna, how? Explain to me how you're gonna kill this dude. That's what your question of the week is.
Yeah. How are you?
What's your plan for killing this dude?
Well,
How
they're
do you
gonna,
feel
they're
about
Because we've all come up with plans for, like, kiting him and staying away from him, but I want to know how you plan on killing him.
Yeah, I want to know as well. Like, how does the average army kill it? You know?
Even the best army.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Tau could kill it.
Yeah?
Because they shoot at it.
Uh-huh.
And eventually it's going to charge him. So that's an extra 3 wounds if you overwatch.
Oh, get it in Overwatch. The trick.
Different.
It's a different phase. The charge phase.
Yeah, so if he charges recklessly.
But then they're not going to fight it with their Tau. What are they going to do?
No, whatever he gets into is going to die. And then they're going to fly away and shoot at it with the rest of their army.
But he'll heal a wound by then.
And then he'll charge again.
Oh,
So 2 charge. You get it too.
We're banking on him charging twice.
So we'll kill it before the end of the game.
Okay. But
if
he's
he
only
makes
murdered,
2 bad
He's only
charges
murdered like 2 Riptides since then.
at that point.
Oh, yeah.
And all the troop. God.
Roscoe is definitely talking about. He's like, I think shield drones still work for that. I'm pretty sure they do because it's not negating the
Do
damage.
drones work in the fight phase? Of course they do. What am I talking about?
They probably
course
definitely
they do.
work. So, but I got enough shooting. I can clear up shield drones pretty quickly.
But yeah,
and unlike Chad, I know to shoot at the shield drones.
I mean, like, that dude's just a gimme. While we stand, we fight.
I will mention.
100%.
I
He's
will
like, I'm
mention
getting
though,
5 points for
the dude is designed to look like the Grim Reaper floating around, and he definitely feels like if we were to just throw the Grim Reaper into 40k.
Yeah,
That's what he. Yeah.
Like you can't kill death, and he brings death.
yeah. I'm excited. Like I said, I feel good about this. I am excited about the playability of so many models. Like, my list don't even have. Oh shit! One more thing.
Oh my God.
If you've been listening this long,
If you've been listening, we didn't talk about the. I said we would talk about the Locust, the chunky
chunky
destroyer.
Chunky boy.
Yeah.
it looks like he has like 3 destroyer guns.
So the destroyers are now Locust destroyers. We know their profile. I think I think it is you take 3 of those or 4 of those, and your 5th model is definitely going to be a Locust heavy destroyer. So it is T5, 4 wounds. It carries 1 of 2 weapons: the Enigmatic Exterminator, 36-inch range, heavy 3d3, strength 7, AP 1, damage 1, blast, or the Gauss Destructor if you need more AP in your army. Heavy 1, strength 10, AP minus 4, 3d3 damage. So that's that guy. Has the living metal, they have reanimation protocols, they're hardwired for destruction so they can reroll hit rolls, and they can still get reroll all failed hits and wounds in that unit. So that's it. That's Necrons. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited.
Oh yeah.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yep.